We're here today for an initial permanency hearing in this case.
I'll start with the kids. MJ's doing really good in school. In the beginning, he was failing a class and he got in a little bit of trouble, but since then, he's made a new friend that he hangs out with every day. He got a tutor and all of his grades are passing or better, and he's doing good in football. He's doing really well with his dad. Aubrey's the same way. She's doing good in school. Uh she's doing well in placement, and Alexis is doing really well. I think she wants to see her mom more, but she lives in Wichita, and we finally have a set schedule to where I can arrange for transportation every other Friday to pick all the kids up so they can all see each other, and so that they can that she can see her mom in person more often. And so yeah, and Alexis is doing good in school as well. Uh, Kayla is doing really well with services. She's provided 3 clean UAs and a clean hair follicle. She's maintained stable income, transportation, and housing. She has 2 services left to do, which are 1 day things, and then her and our parent support worker are working on getting her started with outpatient rehab. So that's where Kayla's at. She is doing very well. The one of the issues that has come up is visitation. Kayla has 4 different people that she has to work around and 4 kids to go see. And so with work, services, and working with everyone, like it's hard for her to maintain a stable schedule. And she works as a nurse, so her schedule shifts week to week. She has had a hard time with staying or having a good relationship with especially Marcus. Her visits with MJ or not, sorry, MJ, with Alexis and Aubrey are going well. She doesn't have a hard time communicating with them, but the visits between Marcus and or Kayla and Marcus's relationship is rocky, and like they kind of, it's not that they butt heads, it's just communication isn't there. And so MJ's been affected by that when it comes to visitations with his mom, like what he's expecting. And I think Bethany has put in a plan that will help with that. Um, the dads, they're all doing good. They love the kids being home. They have stated to me that all of them individually have stated to me that they do not want to go through with the reunification plan. They would like the kids to stay home because one, they don't want the kids pulled out of school, and 2, they want the kids to stay with them. And that's just what I've heard from all the dads. And so I think that's it. That's my update.
Mr. Ivy, are the children getting to spend time together? I mean, even outside of mom's visits, I mean, are they getting to see one another regularly?
They're allowed to call each other, and the the dads, I mean, they all have their own work schedules and they've talked about trying to meet up. But I do know every other Friday they at least get to meet up with mom in person. And since one's in Wichita, one's in Clarendon, and one's in Childress, it's hard to get them all together. I do know Aubrey and Alexis, they have the closest bond, and they call each other constantly and FaceTime each other. But outside of visits, I don't think that the dads have gotten them together.
So she sees him every other Friday.
Yeah, that's the schedule we have now. Last Friday, they weren't able to see each other because a huge storm swept through, and it was too dangerous to pick up Alexis. But I mean, I request transportation, and we do what we can. Sometimes we can only pick up Alexis, and then Kayla will have to go get MJ. But so far, we do have a set schedule because Kayla does have every other Friday off, so we can get all the kids together. I can request transportation and get them together at Kayla's house, and they can get back at a decent time.
Okay. Has there been, what's been the delay with outpatient? Has it just been a spot? What's
It
been the delay there?
the outpatient rehab. So Kayla works a night shift, and so she has to go there in the morning, and it's mainly the starting it that's been the hassle. Is she's gone there twice, waited for multiple hours, and still hasn't got in. But uh, we've kind of got it figured out to where there is going to just have to be a day where she goes in there and she's just going to have to wait for a while, is what the parent support worker told me. Is she talked to the head of the facility, and that like the 2 days that Kayla went were extremely busy. And so she's just gonna have to go in one day and wait it out essentially. And I think we've communicated that with Kayla, and now it's pretty clear like what
What
just needs to be
provider
done.
is this?
It is it's the one in Childress. I'm trying to remember. It's not Rolling Plains, but uh, Kayla probably knows the name of it. I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's held in Fairby Center.
Helen Fairby, that's what it is.
Okay.
And that is like the only outpatient rehab service that's near Childress that would work with like Kayla's schedule and what she's needing. And I mean, she is testing clean at the moment. She's provided 3 clean UAs. She recently provided a clean hair follicle.
All right, well. Okay, anything else, Mr. Ivy?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Miss Grant. You have any questions for Mr. Ivy or anything to report today?
Mr. Ivy, what is the mother's current visitation amount per day for each child? Is it the same for each child?
At the moment, it's 2 hours per visit, but we've allowed some flexibility in that considering her drive time and the distance between the kids. So we have the supervisor as her sister, Candy Martinez, and that way it gives Kayla more flexibility. And we've told the dads and her, like, if they're wanting to allow her extra time supervised, that they can.
Okay,
And so
do you have any, with that being said, do you have any problem today with the court increasing her time of visitation by court order?
no, ma'am. I'm meeting with my director tomorrow to actually see if we can push for unsupervised visits since Kayla has completed over half of her services and she's testing clean.
Okay,
So
so you'll be staffing that tomorrow, you believe?
yes, ma'am, it's on the schedule to staff it tomorrow.
Okay, and so unsupervised visits, would she be picking up at one location or for each child? Where would your plan be to pick up if you know yet?
It would be up to Kayla if she's like if she communicates with the dads that she wants to pick them up at a certain time, certain place. I do know that we don't require the dads to transport the kids.
Okay,
So she could pick them up at an agreed location or anywhere, but I can also arrange for transportation, which even if it is unsupervised visitation, I can still do the every other Friday arrange transportation. It's just for that on the every other Friday, we have to have the kids home at a certain time.
okay.
So the visit, I think max can only be 2 hours,
Okay,
considering
so
how
if we,
far
so if we go to
MJ.
unsupervised, she's gonna have to resolve the transportation issues every other Friday if she wants to go longer or whatever we decide on the extension of time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Judge. That was all I had.
Okay, Mr. Barfield, any questions for Mr. Ivy or anything to report today?
Not, I don't think that would be Oh, the only issue that I'm aware of, based on the reports I read in CASA's report and Mr. Ivy's report, is I think and the court signed a child support, and I know this is the child support order to stop his child support, and it's still coming out, which was a concern. I think the other dad's child support has been stopped, and I know that's an AG thing, but he didn't want me. That is a significant financial burden. And so I know the court signed an order. I don't know if there's anything else that can be done on that or not. Other than that, I don't have anything. I think everything's going good with Aubrey, with Dylan. I think they're doing really well.
Okay, I may have signed an order, but did anybody issue on it?
I guess that's what I'm asking. Because I've seen the order, but I don't know if the Attorney General's received it or not.
I usually have to issue them, Brooks, myself from my office.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get on that then. Okay. I have the order, so we'll look into that ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, they don't pick up on the actual order, the employer doesn't, the
Okay,
employer needs
well-
to get an issuance that says, stop it.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
We'll have Dylan, we'll have him deal with the Attorney General. We have the order in our possession. We can get it to him and he can get it to the Attorney General, I guess.
all right, Mr. Garcia, I've still not seen your attorney come into the waiting room. Let me just ask you, do you have any questions for Mr. Ivy or anything that you need to talk about today?
No, ma'am. I mean, my biggest concern was Kayla being more consistent with, I guess, letting us know when she's gonna come pick up Marcus Jr. Because there's been times where, like, he didn't see her at all this past week. The last time he seen her was last Sunday, and we had to meet her in Memphis because she couldn't come to Clarendon due to her scheduling and uh her sister not being able to come with her and stuff like that. I just me and Abigail, which is my significant other, we just want her to be more consistent on that part with Marcus Jr.
Okay, and I've got some things that I'm gonna address about kind of that and some other moving parts here, but all right, I appreciate it, sir. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
and Ms. Seal?
No questions, Your Honor, just that we are still in favor of Alexis remaining in placement with Mr. Leos at this time.
Okay. Ms. Stevens, any questions for Mr. Ivy or anything else to report today?
Yes, just to report, Your Honor, I've met with all of the kids. I did a home visit with Marcus and I FaceTimed with Alexis and I saw Aubrey in person and they're all thriving. They're all doing very, very well. I've been amazed because little Marcus, when this started, was just a little boy. And now he is a sixth grader playing eighth grade football and he has thinned out his face and he just on the inside is so much more mature. I will say the kids want to go home to mom, so I would not be in favor of them not eventually doing that if mom completes her services. And they definitely want more time with mom. I really, really want to commend Marcus's dad because, as we all know, I had concerns about him at the beginning with his anger issues and things like that. However, I will say, upon visiting their home and talking to him, he seems far less angry, much more patient and understanding towards not only his son, but also towards the mother in this case. The little bit of frustration he just now expressed to the court is completely understandable. And I hope the court can see how much more patient he is. Now, that was a very loving home to walk into, and they have moved. This house is much cleaner, much safer, much nicer. I have nothing but good things to report about the dads. Everybody already knows that I was very happy with the other dads. The things that I am concerned about and what I tried to put in place is while I appreciate that the dads have been very flexible about visits, and in fact, as Marcus Sr. just said, you know, Kayla had called on an off day and said, "Can I see him?" They drove to Memphis to make sure that happened, even though they're not under any obligation to do any driving. I'm not in favor. What I have asked is, I do not think that Kayla should talk to Marcus or any of the children directly about potential visits, because especially with Marcus, she will get his hopes up, not show up, and then his behavior gets bad. And he and I talked about that. This is him telling me. He and I talked about that, and he feels like just that disappointment is what causes him to act out, because Marcus Sr. has advised me that Marcus Jr.'s behavior has gotten so much better. And so I sent an email to all the attorneys asking that Kayla not speak to the children about potential visits. She can talk to them about anything else she wants, obviously, but I don't think it's a good idea for her to talk to them about potential visits that may fall through. I asked that she only speak to the dads themselves about potential visits, and that the dads not necessarily tell the kids until they're 90% certain it will actually happen. One thing that I was concerned about is the lack of timeliness. Marcus Jr. reported to me that on one occasion he was supposed to be back at home around 8:30. He didn't get there until 9:30 or 9:45 and had not been fed supper. So that, I think, is a problem. I asked in my email that Kayla agree to be on time for pickups, on time for drop-offs, especially when they're that late, and to actually make sure she feeds the children when it is dinner time. Marcus is a growing boy. They're all precious children. So we need to make sure they actually get fed. I didn't put this in the email, but one thing that I think would be fair, since the dads are being more flexible with Kayla on when she has visitation, they need at least 24 hours notice. This calling at the last minute and saying, "Hey, I want to see him." Marcus Jr. especially is very busy with his football, and so that's not always feasible. And one thing I will say about Marcus Sr., even though I felt he was angry starting this case, he actually really does want to facilitate those visits, because he shared with me that he had some experience with this as a little kid too. And so he does want to facilitate those, but sometimes it's really hard without at least 24 hours notice, just because of Marcus Jr.'s schedule with extracurriculars and things like that. I sent that email out to all of the attorneys. I did not get an agreement back, except from Mr. Graff said that, of course, he would be in agreement with that. I don't think those are unreasonable. I think that's just being a good parent and being responsible. The last thing, little Miss Aubrey wanted me, she asked me what I did. And so I explained court and judges and all of that. And she told me, she's so precious, they all are, but she told me that her favorite thing in the world is to make slime. And she would like you, Judge Baker, me, and her to get together and make slime, please.
Sounds like
And I,
something better than what I do every day, all day long.
and I wouldn't have even brought it up, but she did tell me twice during our visit to make sure the judge knows she wants the three of us to get together and make slime.
I didn't know you could make slime. I thought you just bought it.
That's her favorite activity, and she does it. She said Kayla's great at making slime, and her stepmom is great at making slime. So she said that you and I need to figure out how to make slime and do it with her.
And I would
Okay.
object to any ex parte contact, so that could happen.
Well, I didn't go into ex parte with the little one. I just said the judge would love that someday.
I would
Indeed, I
move
will.
that Jean be required to participate in the making of the slime.
I would pay to see Eugene participate.
I would volunteer that. That would be fine.
Okay, let me hear from CASA, and then since we had a case dismissed on the docket, so we got a little bit of extra time. So there's a number of things I want to address, but
Your Honor, before you move on to CASA, can I
Uh-huh.
give you a brief reply to Ms. Stevens' email that we kind of owe her?
sure.
Kayla didn't see MJ, she calls him MJ, Marcus Jr. this week because he had I believe a change in his football schedule from what was originally scheduled. And so, we don't disagree with the 24 hours notice, obviously, with the caveat that the extracurricular schedule can be heavy for these football kids and changes do occur. And obviously we couldn't, foresee that one. Um, but she was also wanting to know about possibly changing the meeting point for her visitations to Childress so that she is driving less time each direction and getting the children home more timely. But there's a lot of moving parts in the visitation to this particular case. And so I think that's something we may have to continue to work on offline to ensure that we get it correctly done. And then the last thing regarding Ms. Stevens' email, she wanted Kayla to communicate better directly with the dads. And so Kayla has agreed to do that. She would like to communicate only with the dads to ensure that the relationships are growing and getting better. We are very grateful that MJ has a dad's girlfriend who's very active with him and does a lot, but most of the contact does go through that girlfriend. And so as much as we appreciate that, we also want the co-parenting relationship to grow. And so we would ask that Marcus and Kayla communicate directly for a little while to ensure that we're doing everything Ms. Stevens wants to see done in order to foster the timeliness and the pickups and drop-offs and so forth. But we have discussed timeliness and the importance of that, and we hope to see that improving.
And Your Honor, if I may, even more than the timeliness, can we all agree that Kayla will only talk to the dads, not to the children about potential visits? Because that really is causing problems when Marcus Jr. gets disappointed. And I don't think that behavioral issue is hard to understand.
Yeah, that's part, I didn't go into that part. I'm sorry, Bethany, but yes, we agree talking to the dad about visitations is the key to keeping things smooth for the children.
And Your Honor, I would just second what Ms. Grant said about, I do think that Kayla and the dads need to be primaries, even though Aubrey has a great stepmom and Marcus has a stepmomish figure. And both kids have reported to me that they feel very loved. I agree with Ms. Grant that the co-parenting needs to grow between Kayla and dads.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, and CASA?
Okay, sorry, I couldn't figure out how to unmute.
right.
All the kids are super precious. We do see big improvements at the dads' homes, with dads as well as the kids. We think everything should be maintained as is for the current. MJ playing football has been mentioned a couple of times. I did get to go watch him play a football game. That was a lot of fun to see. I've seen the kids in the home. I visited with the dads, and the reoccurring theme seems to be visitations, but that is one of our main concerns as well. Aubrey is in the same town as mom. They both live in Childress, and so their visitations are happening a lot more frequently than the other two. And we would just like to see the other two get the same opportunities or the same amount of time as Aubrey for those visitations. And especially Alexis, it seems like, I know she's further away. I know that requires more moving parts. In talking with mom, she says that transportation is her biggest issue. But I know in speaking with Tucker once before that he is requesting St. Francis transportation. But again, it's just a problem of lining up everybody's schedules all at once. But that would be our biggest request, is that all three get the same stability and the same opportunity for visitation with mom.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. And as always, we appreciate CASA's work in the case and assistance in the case.
Your Honor, I forgot one thing. I apologize.
Sure.
The children did ask, specifically Aubrey asked for more time, yes, with Alexis because they are extremely close, but she does want to see Marcus. And all of the children have said they need to see each other more often. And just so the court understands, FaceTime is great, but Aubrey and Alexis are littles. So it's harder for them to maintain that relationship on the phone. And sweet Marcus isn't going to have anything to talk about for very long with littles on the telephone. That's not going to work out. They need to see each other in person.
Understood. Okay. First of all, you know, I'm pleased with the progress that the whole case has made. You know, we're a long way from where we started, and I congratulate parents on their ongoing efforts to improve their communication, to improve their co-parenting. You know, that is all good, and I hope that that continues. Because at some point in time, this court's job is going to be done. You all have court orders on addressing parents. I mean, there were pre-existing court orders, I think, for each parent and child. Correct, Mr. Groff?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. If, and there's a lot of ifs here, but that's partially why I want to address parents about this. You know, if the children are reunified with the mother, generally speaking, what happens is we dismiss out. Everything reverts back to the prior court orders, in which I haven't looked at. It's been a minute since I think Ms. Grant sent those out, but you know, I think we were under sort of standard visitation orders and all that. So I just, all I'm saying to dads is, and mom, this court is not here to do your custody fight. So I'm giving y'all a heads up. There's prior court orders. Once our job is done with the family, if we think things are stabilized and the children are safe, then generally speaking, my job is to reunify and leave you all back in the position where I found you. It's a little different if there weren't prior court orders. I'm happy for you all to utilize the resources that you have right now, which is, newsflash, you've got free lawyers right now. And I definitely see that this case probably needs to head to a mediation at some point in time. But you all have the benefit of having counsel right now that can help walk you through what this whole situation is going to look like moving forward. And trust me, it is complicated when you've got 3 children and 3 different dads, and there's going to be visitation orders. Whether the children remain with dads, whether one child remains with a father, 2 go home to mother, 2 children stay with their fathers, 1 goes home to mother. I mean, there's, you all are getting it. There's just like this infinite amount of possibilities here. But no matter what, wherever each child ultimately is primarily residing, you guys are going to be tasked and faced with the difficulties of transportation for visitation, schedules. As you're already seeing with Marcus, the older children get and the more involved they get, the more complicated it gets, working around their extracurricular activities. And whether it's me or it's another judge, I can tell you what every judge is going to be sitting there thinking is, how do we handle this with the least disruption to the children? Because the children didn't create the current situation. So it is going to ultimately be all of your responsibilities to make sure that each child gets back and forth between that child's parents, and hopefully some level of cooperation so that the children get to see each other on a regular basis. And again, that could look like 100 different things in this case. So I think the sooner parents start getting used to this idea, they're going to have to share some of these responsibilities of, transportation, meeting halfway. One takes the child the whole way on the front end, the other one picks up at the other end. I mean, there's different ways to do this. But what I'm telling you is you need to start thinking about it now and talking to your lawyers about it now. Because if I just end up, if the determination is that the department should no longer be involved in the case because the children have suitable, safe parents and homes to live in, then by law, I will get out of your lives, and so will the department, and so will the department resources, and so will your lawyers. They will no longer be your counsel once this case is dismissed. And if you go back to those prior orders, then you guys are going to all be faced with, you either go back to the prior order and you live with it, or you got to go out and hire a lawyer and file a private modification suit. And it's expensive. I don't care where you live, it's expensive. So, I don't know exactly what, you guys attorneys are charging on an hourly basis for a private family law case, but I'm guessing it's in at least the $300 an hour category, and it could be upwards from that. So my suggestion is you use all of these resources very wisely, but you start projecting and getting yourselves ready for the future. Because right now, the case is certainly on a trajectory that the department's going to dismiss out. And that could happen sooner rather than later, which is a great thing because that means everybody's doing what we need them to do. But I just want parents to be crystal clear. We are not here to fight your custody battle. And it isn't going to happen. So everybody start talking now. It may be a little early to set a mediation because our next hearing is in February, but and we're all getting ready to get into a real busy time of year, and things are going to be crazy. Council, let me ask, any problem about setting mediation for sometime maybe in late January or early February?
We can start working on that, Judge.
I think that would be a good time for it.
All right, I'm gonna have Ms. Katie look at see who we've got up next to mediate. Some of you folks do mediate for us. Obviously, it can't be you, but this is going to be tricky because there's a lot of moving parts.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, sir.
This phone is about to die. I have my other phone that I'm trying to join in on the call.
Nope.
If someone could accept me.
I see you. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So let's just say we'll set mediation to occur. Why don't we say before February, February 15th, that would be 10 days prior to our next hearing. A dismissal prior to that is, I guess, theoretically possible. But if mom hasn't started that outpatient, whether or not she'd actually be finished with that much before that is, I would say, would be questionable. So, here's the problem with that I see as far as mom's visitation right now and trying to bump that up. You know, kids are in school, they got activities, you got travel involved. I mean, it's the same thing everybody's been talking about. Is there a reason why visits can't happen on the weekend, or is that because of mom's work schedule? Because she's got to work some weekends.
St. Francis doesn't provide transportation on the weekends, but visits can happen on the weekends. And I think visits have happened on the weekends. It's just we can't transport the kids on the weekends.
Mr. Ivy, I think it's time to start talking to parents about, you know, if we're going to increase time with mom, that also helps satisfy increasing time with the kids together. Okay, so we can kill two birds with one stone there. Because I just don't see any way to wrap in another, you know, visit for just the kids into this situation right now. I just think it's not going to happen. I think it's just going to fall
Yes,
apart every
ma'am,
time
I
we
agree.
try. Yeah. So, you know, if we can increase that time and if the weekends are feasible for parents to do some of the transportation and maybe meeting halfway. I mean, of the places where the children are, I mean, Childress would seem to me to be the most logical place to meet. Probably has a little more things to do for mom and kids and all. Still supervised until you all staff and decide it could be otherwise. But I think that discussion needs to happen about how that's going to work.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
And I hate to just kick that can to you, but I'm not sure I have enough specific information about everybody's work schedules and kids' stuff and all of that to just, you know, I can just make an order and then tell y'all you got to make it happen, but that's pretty inflexible and that may not work very well for anybody, which all the lawyers know when it comes down, push comes to shove. I mean, I can just make an arbitrary order, but nobody's really going to like it very well. So you all are all better off to figure out what works. So, okay. Then today I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue the children's current placements with their respective fathers. I would find that there's a continuing danger to return the children home to mother at this time, but that mother and all fathers are in compliance with our family plan service. I am going to order the majority of communication will be through the parents, you know, regarding visits and schedules, school issues, grades, you know, anything like that that parents need to be talking about. Most of that needs to happen parent to parent. However, I am very respectful of step parents' involvement and commitment in cases like this. And so I'm not going to just issue a blanket order and say never. You know, that fathers are all working. If there's a spouse or significant other in the home, you know, that's okay. That sometimes the communication may need to be with that person, and I'm fine with that. If it's something that requires, you know, parental decision making and how we're going to handle, you know, one kiddo gets in trouble at school or something, you know, how y'all are going to handle that. Yeah, that's a parent to parent discussion about what, you know, what privileges is the kid going to lose, what gets taken away and for how long, and you know, this is, you need to come up with something that's going to be the same punishment in both homes. I mean, these are the things you guys have got to start working on right now. You got to be on the same page with your kids, because if you aren't, trust me, they will manipulate you. And they're all getting to that age where you know, well, Marcus Jr. certainly is old enough, he may already have dabbled in it. But the other two are certainly getting to that point where they will start, and they will do it if they know they can do it and get away with it. And that you guys don't talk to each other, or you don't talk about important things. All right, so that I've given my abbreviated parenting class for the day. I'll, like I said, I'll order mediation before February 15th of 2026. Unless you all have some other agreement, you know, prior to that time, that's fine. I'll certainly entertain anything that you guys come up with. So our next scheduled hearing, as I said, will be on February 25th of 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. Will be by Zoom, obviously, since we've got people all over the panhandle and downstate even. Anybody have any questions?
Your Honor, respectfully, will you just address the tardiness? Because Marcus Jr. was very insistent that being brought home at 9:45 when he was supposed to be there at 8:30 was a problem. Now, he complained about not having dinner, but to him, that getting home late and then having to eat and then having to get ready for bed, that's an issue.
Yeah, it's a problem. I understand things happen in life. I mean, you know, sometimes we have car trouble. Sometimes, you know, I mean, I've personally sat out on I-40 in a, you know, shut down traffic jam for 4 or 5 hours. I mean, you know, life happens to everybody. And then, and all you got to do is communicate. But we do need to be timely. Mr. Ivy?
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to add to the not eating thing. I will say that Marcus has a history of lying about food. This doesn't have to do with anything with the being late, but with the not being fed part, I have seen him eat at Kayla's house and then go home and tell Marcus that he didn't eat. So I do know he's just a hungry boy and he wants to eat. And so I'm just saying that instance, he does have a history of lying about food.
And that is true. It's been a while since we've had that issue with him, though. And one thing that made me believe him is when I said to him, do you understand? Because normally these children will not criticize mom, will not admit mom's done any wrong. And I said to him, are you certain? Because that would be irresponsible. And he said, I'm telling you, she didn't feed me that night. And I said, is that irresponsible? And he said, yes. In that instance, mom, well, he didn't say in that instance. He just said, yes, mom was irresponsible. And the fact that he even said that made me believe him, because normally you're not going to get anywhere with these kids if you say anything like that about Kayla. I mean, I will say this, these kids love their mamas in such a way that I know their mama loves them.
And Your Honor, I'll just tell you that that was the day they went to the skating rink, and he had things from the snack bar. He had nachos, he had a Coke, he had things there and was fed. Maybe there's just a difference to him between did you eat dinner or did you eat snacks, possibly. But he did have plenty of food while he was with Kayla.
That actually is a good point. I did not ask if he had snacks. I do apologize for that.
Okay. Well, you know, it's just basic parenting 101. You gotta build in some time, because inevitably things happen and you may need to stop and grab something here or there or whatever. So I just, you know, again, communication is just the key there. So, okay.
And he had it drilled in, you know, very much. If you don't eat dinner, you have to be truthful and stuff. And so we may be, you know, putting a little much on him as far as like terminology and so forth. So maybe that was just a miscommunication, but I did verify he did eat during the visit.
Thank you, Miss Grant. I didn't know that. And I will be more cautious with my language. I do think he's still young enough to be very literal. When I said dinner, that's going to mean dinner. I did not ask about snacks.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, well, I appreciate parents' hard work. I really, really do. I appreciate the progress we've made. I think things are really headed in the right direction for everybody involved. And, you know, kind of like it or not, you guys are all kind of going to be one big extended family as long as these children are children. So I hope that the trend will continue, and I certainly think that it can. Okay, I'll see y'all back in February.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the interest of Eileen Phillips, we're here for a status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom.
Your Honor, I'm Tate Eldridge. I represent William Meek. I'm present. He's incarcerated this time, so he's not present, but he does. I have spoken to him. He knows about the hearing.
Bethany Stevens for the mother, Sierra Phillips. Despite repeated attempts, I have not reached her recently, but I am present ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Meek and Mr. Parrish are both in Potter County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any contact with Mr. Holtman?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We've, I believe Mom has stated that he is in the Austin area, I believe she said. I don't think anybody has any contact information. We haven't been able to find any yet.
Okay. All right, then, let's see. Ms. Brady, if you can unmute. You'll just raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth today?
I do.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Trout, any questions for her, or is she just gonna give us a report?
Just a couple of questions real quick. Ms. Brady, family plans of service, William Meek and Morgan Parrish have both signed theirs. Is that correct?
Correct.
And those have been filed with the court.
Correct.
In regards to the mother, Sierra Phillips, does she have a copy of hers? Have you sent her a copy?
I'm trying to recall if I left her a copy, but I went over hers in person with her and she signed. Oh, and I sent it through. I'm trying to remember. I sent it to her through DocuSign, but she does know of it and is aware of it.
Okay, but she has not signed, correct?
She did.
Okay,
In
when did
person.
she sign that?
Let me see. Sorry.
I believe at the time of the report, she had not, so that's what I was.
Yes. Let's see. Sorry, I believe that I got a notification that she had signed after, so I'm just checking.
Okay. And go ahead and ask you some questions while you're checking on that.
Okay.
When was your last contact with Sierra Phillips?
In September we met, or sorry, in October, we did meet for our monthly meeting on the 12th.
Okay.
She has messaged me and she did request that I go and visit her last Monday. I told her due to schedule I wasn't able to go visit her, but she could call me. She
Okay.
stated that she would call me, but I'd never received a call back and I haven't received a response since.
Okay. Whether the mother has signed her service plans or not at this time, I know you're still checking on that. All service plans were filed with the court on October 24th of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know where Sierra Phillips is staying at this time?
She has been staying at the Motel 6, and I do apologize. She did sign it on the 24th at 3:21 p.m. So it was just after I had to file it with the court. So she has that copy through DocuSign.
Okay. If you will get that signed copy file, please. Are parents, have they started setting up any services? I know Mr. Meek and Mr. Parrish are in jail. Have they started setting up what they can while they are incarcerated?
Last time I talked to them was whenever I talked to them about the family plan. And so I do not know of them starting any services with the family plan.
Okay. Have providers been set up for mom?
Providers have not yet been set up for mom due to me not being able to contact her
Okay.
after about getting all that set up and
Okay.
her being in contact.
But since mom is signed and two of the possible fathers have, we are asking the court to make family plans of service in order of the court
Yes, sir.
and for the parents to cooperate with working services.
Yes, sir.
As to presumed father, Jaden Holtman, do you have any locating information for him?
I have not found any locating information for him. There has been like an accurate ran to find him and try to attempt to contact him, but I have not been able to reach him.
Okay. Has she drug screened for you?
She did go and drug screen, and I actually received those results this morning.
Okay.
For the drug screen, we had sent her to hair follicle and UA, but only the urinary analysis was completed.
Okay.
So we still need that hair follicle.
Okay.
And then the UA was positive, however.
Okay. And in your conversations with mom, have y'all discussed her drug use?
Yes, we have discussed her drug use. She said that she had been off all opiates, except and all illegal substances except for marijuana, but her drug screen tested positive for amphetamines, methamphetamine, and marijuana.
Okay. I know early in the case there was some, and maybe during investigations, there was some admittance to from multiple of the parents of possible fentanyl use. Did that show up in the drug screen at all?
That did not show up in the drug screen.
Okay. So you'd asked the court today for an court order for a hair follicle.
Yes.
Okay.
And may I add something about
ma'am.
the drug screenings? The mom had told me in our meeting before that she had used or attempted to use fake urine for a different screen for a job. And so I have concerns about that possibly happening in the future. Are
Okay.
we able to get supervised screens in the future?
Yeah, we can ask the court for it, but you can ask for observed UAs when you send in for them.
Okay.
But we'll ask the court if we can order the UAs be observed from here on out.
Okay.
How is the child doing?
She is doing well. She's working on gaining weight. She's 9 pounds, 21 inches long. Happy baby all around, except for whenever she's hungry. Working on supporting her head and lifting her up and self-soothing herself.
Okay. Placement still appropriate in taking care of all her needs?
Yes.
Any concerns there?
No concerns at this time.
Okay. So today you're asking the court for a hair follicle on mom, for UAs to be observed going forward in the case.
Yes.
For temporary managing conservatorship to stay with the department at this time.
Yes.
And for parents to work services.
Yes.
Anything else you need to ask the court for today?
No, not at this time.
Any other updates of something that we did not cover?
We are just waiting on paternity results for William Meek, and the home study interview with Noah and Stuart Williams was done yesterday. Noah Meek and Stuart Williams was done yesterday, and so I'm just waiting on those results.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Stevens?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Stevens, anything else to report today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Eldridge.
I don't have any questions specific, Your Honor. She answered all the ones I would have asked.
All right, anything to report?
I spoke to Mr. Meek. He's in jail. He does have a drug problem, and he's actually kind of staying in jail as a method to keep himself off drugs till he's, I'm drawing a blank on the word. anyway, he's trying to go through the first steps while he's in jail. He's asking for placement with his brother, which is Noah Meek, and I guess it's his partner, Stuart Williams. And then he plans on working his services as soon as he gets out of jail. He thinks he's the father, but he said they haven't completed the the testing yet. So that'll help a lot because we'll eliminate 2 of the dads, I guess. Maybe this week or next.
Let me ask, does the department, do they have the information for his brother?
Yes, ma'am. That's the home study that she mentioned.
That,
Your
oh,
Honor.
it is this one and the same. Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
I missed the name on the home study. So, okay. All right. Okay.
But that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, then, Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, Eileen's doing really great in placement. Kelly's gotten to visit with her in person. I'm all for home studies on anybody. I thought we were going to wait to make sure that the DNA came in before any move was made, but I'm glad that that home study is in process. But I feel very good about where Eileen is right now.
I think that was the plan. I mean, weren't we going to wait? So
That's fine with us, Your Honor. That makes sense.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't have any objections to that at all. I don't know how long it takes the results to come back. He thinks they're testing him this Friday, maybe, or maybe it was last Friday.
Judge, since it's a jail draw, they'll get out there. They didn't give a specific date for him to be there. It is stated that the jail draw will happen. The child's test was done October 29th, so just about 4 or 5 days, about 5 days ago. So they should be getting his soon. So hopefully we'll know fairly soon.
okay. Well, if we've got good placement for the baby right now, I mean, I don't see any reason to pull that trigger until we know for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay.
And I think the home studies has been done, but it's still in review. So it'll be a little bit on that home study.
Okay. All right, then anything else for maybe?
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so today I'm gonna order mom to submit to a hair test as soon as she can be contacted, Ms. Brady. And I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement. If we get genetic testing back on Mr. Meeks, on his brother, let me just clarify. They're both Meeks, but I'm referring to the brother. All right, so if we get genetic testing back on the father, William Meek, and an approved home study on the brother, Mr. Meek, then I'm fine if we go ahead and move the baby, as long as that nobody has some big objection at that point. In other words, we don't have to wait till our next hearing to do that. So,
Yes.
okay. If anybody's got any heartburn with that, let us know and we'll set a hearing.
And Your Honor, if when Miss Brady is in touch with my client, could you please tell her that I would love to talk to her?
Yes, I will.
All right, I'm fine to continuing danger to return the child home at this time. And I'm gonna order the service plans as an order of the court today. And I'll see everybody back for the initial perm hearing March 3rd of 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, or can we have a ruling on the observed UAs going forward? The court have the issue.
Yeah, I have no problem with if the permanency specialist continues to think that's an issue or a problem. I don't have any problem with them asking that be observed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I'll authorize that moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all, and I'll see you back in March.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hesitated there just because I don't remember y'all asking me for an order for that before. I think y'all just done it.
Yes, ma'am. Usually we have, I think we have
Okay.
had it ordered, a couple of observers ordered, not throughout the case, just individually. So that's why I was asking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In the interest of Malaysia Butler, cause number 99951E, in the interest of Malia Coleman, cause number 100318E, in the interest of Messiah Woods. All right, we're here today in each case on a status hearing.
Vince Nowak on behalf of the mother, Desiree Coleman. We're both present and ready, Judge.
PD Hammonds for the father, Messiah Woods. Eric Woods, he's still in jail, Judge. I spoke with him. I can give you an update. I'm ready to go.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the children.
Mr. Butler is he in TDCJ?
Yes.
Okay, because one place in the report it said TDCJ in Pampa, one place said Potter County Jail, and I thought he can't be both.
Oh, I apologize. It is
It's okay.
TDCJ and that, yes.
Okay, we've got. All right, then. So that's with respect to Mr. Butler. All right, then. I showed that Mr. Hood, Father Hood, was in Potter County Jail. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry, that is an error on my court report.
Right.
Robert
I
Hood is
had a
not.
feeling we had a crossover between the dads, but that's why I'm double checking. So, all right, he is not in jail. Mr. Woods is, however, in Potter
Yes.
County Jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
And Judge, for the court, I had the same questions on a couple of things. I searched all that yesterday. I found what we just talked about. Mr. Woods is in Potter County Jail. Robert Hood, I did not find anywhere any incarcerated anywhere. And Mr. Butler is in the Jordan unit, TDCJ.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Scone, if you want to go ahead and give us an update, that would be great.
Yes. So do you just want like what the parents have done so far, how the kids are?
Yep.
Okay. So I have been in contact with Desiree, the mother. She has been working with me on everything. She has signed her family plan. She has started setting up services. Eric Woods, I have been in contact with him as well. I've seen him at Potter County. He is willing to work services as well. He has told me he should be released soon also in order to work those services completely. And then Robert Hood, he has contacted me via phone. He has not let me he's not providing me with an address, so I've not been able, and he's also not been willing to see me in person. So other than phone contact, I have not been physically in contact with Robert Hood. And then Robert Butler, I was only allowed phone calls with the Jordan unit in Pampa, so I have had phone calls with him as well. So Robert Butler has been mailed a family plan, as has Eric Woods, and then Robert Hood has not signed a family plan. And then as for the kids, Messiah is doing well in his placement, and the girls are as well, Malaya and Malaysia. Malaya and Malaysia are placed separately from Messiah. Messiah is in a kinship placement, and then the girls are placed in a children's home.
But together.
Yes, the girls are together. Mm-hmm.
All right. Any concerns for any of the children?
No concerns. I mean, we have a little bit of a concern for Messiah's placement, just their ability to she's not provided us with income, and she also does not have a car. So we just have a slight concern about that. And basically, if investigations hadn't already placed there, it probably wouldn't have gotten approved by us. So the home study is not fully approved yet for that kinship placement.
Okay, so again, I want to clarify because based looking at the reports, it appeared to me that the children were all placed in a relative placement, but that's not correct.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the girls are in which children's home?
In Lubbock, they're at the Boys and Girls Ranch of Lubbock.
And Messiah is
in Amarillo with his paternal grandmother.
okay, so he's the only one in a relative placement.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say paternal grandmother?
Yes, paternal.
Okay. All right, make sure I understood correctly. All right. All right. Looks like both girls have had extensive dental work since removed.
Yes, that is correct.
They doing okay?
They are. Yes. I mean, I saw them last month. I'm gonna go see them again today, but they seem happy. You know, doing good in school. Just trying to. Well, Malaya, she did have to get put back a year. She was actually behind on not recognizing some of her like numbers and letters. So they she was in first grade. They did move her back to kindergarten. But other than that, I mean, they're doing okay.
Is there a plan to see if we can't get her caught up and back on grade level?
Based on what placement in the school discussed, they think that this is going to be the best route for her is just pulling her back and seeing if she can catch up because they said she was missing I believe a semester, almost a full like semester of last year whenever she was in kindergarten. So she seems to have a lapse in her school.
Okay. But these aren't really just delays. I mean, not any kind of developmental delay. It's just
No.
because she's just behind.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Anything else to report today?
Yes. So Desiree, she started her parenting classes. She has also scheduled her rational behavior therapy for this month. And then she also did drug screen for me last month, and I do have the results from that as well.
And
they were positive for do you want me to say what for?
Yeah, I want to know, what were they, hair UA?
Yes, so she had a UA and a hair follicle. The UA was positive for cocaine and marijuana, as was the hair follicle.
So both were positive?
Yes, ma'am.
For the same substances?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if you said, I apologize, did she sign her service plan?
She did.
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, the only thing to update the court on, I know we kind of talked about it in the adversary. there are criminal charges.
Mhm.
So we do have bond conditions in the Woods case and in the Butler case of no contact. And then originally there was a magistrate's order of emergency protection against Malaya Coleman, where mom couldn't have contact there. That ends at midnight today. Is the 60-day mark on that. There originally was some bond conditions in a case file naming that child also. I believe that case has been refused. It still shows in Odyssey, but my understanding that case is no longer there. So those bond conditions shouldn't be there, but I just want everybody to be careful on that to make sure those, I'm gonna try to check into that to make sure those are gone away. And so mom should be able to, we should be able to set up some sort of visitations, whether it's virtual, with Malaya Coleman and mom. But I just want to verify one more time that those bond conditions went away on that case.
Will that only be for Malaya?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any indication as to why the girls are treated differently?
The way that the case investigation went, my understanding, there were the allegations, of course, against Messiah and then against Malaysia, as the charges have them listed as victims, not Malaya. And so that's where that comes different. I think the original case filing on the criminal side was filed incorrectly, so they pulled that case back and then refiled, and so that's where the delays and the overlaps.
I had thought that all three children were present, but
I think
I wasn't there, so I don't
yeah,
know.
no, my understanding all three were. I think there were the allegations of some physical toward these two children and not toward the Coleman child. And so there was no charge as that child as a victim.
Okay, anything further from the department or St. Francis?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nowak.
Just briefly, Kayla, it's good to see you. Are there any bond conditions currently that prevent mom from seeing her daughter, Malaya?
I believe that's what we're just waiting on after today. She should be able to have visits.
Okay. What's the plan to start those visits? When she's on screen right now, obviously. Desiree's on screen. When can she expect a visit with Malaya?
Well, I think as long as the bond conditions are clear and good, we could get a visit scheduled for this week.
Okay, so today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
It probably would be Friday.
Okay, and you'll be in touch with Desiree to schedule that, correct?
Mhm.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Judge, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hammonds.
Judge, I spoke to Eric Woods back in September. He pled to 180 days on an evading charge. He had 298 days credit, so that's resolved. He's now waiting for parole to decide his future. Hopefully that happens within the next 30 to 45 days. I've indicated to him, should he be released on parole, call me, call the caseworker as quickly as possible, get started doing what he needs to do. I would be surprised if they yank him for a misdemeanor. And because he's already been in there close to a year, I would think that probably is sufficient to satisfy their violation. But, you never know.
Okay,
He
we'll wait and
could get
see.
another year. He could get another, yeah, he could get another year set off.
Might depend what his other charges have been. All right,
Drug charges.
yeah, okay. Ms. Balla.
Your Honor, I visited with Messiah at school. Previously, I had visited him at grandmother's house. It's my understanding from talking to both him and grandmother that it sounds like, has essentially lived with grandmother for most of his life, other than when mom came and got him last year. So I would like that information out there. I understand that grandmother doesn't have a lot of resources. So I don't know what's going on in terms of this home study, but I know I saw him at school, so she's getting him to school. He was dressed appropriately, seemed good. So I've got some concerns if there's going to be some movement of him from grandmother's. I would ask that he not be moved unless we have agreement or some sort of hearing on that. I don't know if that's St. Francis's intent. As to the girls, I visited them in person in Lubbock first, and then we Zoomed just yesterday. At first, I didn't know if the girls were just a little bit shy with me. I think they may be behind in talking, because when we Zoomed last night, they no longer seemed shy, but they still seem behind in terms of verbal abilities and things. And it may be that will resolve itself once they're back on a regular school schedule and things like that. But I would like to just kind of keep an eye out for the girls in terms of their development and speech and things like that. But they all seem to be doing well. I don't understand what the issue is with the bond situation. I can say it's going to be really weird for one of the girls to have visits and not the other. I mean, they share a bedroom, they are together all the time. So that's going to be really hard on the girls in terms of the difference. But I don't control those bond issues, so.
I think placement needs just to have Malaysia be somewhere completely different.
Can I speak on that?
Sure.
So prior to the bond conditions, she was Desiree was allowed a few visits with mom before kind of everything happened, and they did have the placement had their therapist come and speak to Malaysia, at least to kind of help her understand it. But they did take Malaya to a separate space at placement, so that way like it wasn't as difficult, but definitely it was slightly upsetting for her. But they did try and help it as much as they could whenever she did have those couple visits before the conditions were in place.
Okay, it's a mess, but that's not our mess, and I can't do anything about it. So what about the moving of Messiah? We got any intents of moving him?
I do have clarification on that, if you would like me to speak on it, since I'm kind of approving and working on home studies more than what Kayla does. Essentially, we are planning on approving the home study. I had to have a special staffing with my director to see what we needed to do. The big concern is that grandma does not have the transportation, and then the income she says that she reports that she has gold coins and that there is a neighbor that financially provides for her. We're trying to find loopholes to work around. She sent us pay stubs from him, but we're trying to get in contact with him to verify this information. Kayla has not been able to get in contact with him, and we want him to sign a letter stating that he's willing to financially help placement along with the child if needed. And if we can get that, then we can go ahead and get it approved and possibly give some kinship financial assistance. So we don't plan on denying, but I was informed that we do have that letter signed before we can officially approve anything. So that is what we're waiting on right now.
Okay.
One of the arguments that, we did bring up was that she has currently provided for all of his basic needs while he's been placed there. So I think that that helps, as Ms. Zavala had previously mentioned.
All right, y'all just keep her in the loop on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Anybody got anything else to say?
May I speak, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I have had help from Messiah's grandma, but he has not lived with her most of his life, so that is incorrect. And also, the girls' home study for with their aunt, Dominique Harris, was denied for the same reason. But she has a job opening at Popeyes, and she's willing to get her driving license. So that was the only problem with her home study. The same thing as Miss Olivia. So I'm just trying to come and be fair with all of the children.
And if you would like me to speak on that as well, Your Honor, I'm more than
Yeah, I
happy
mean,
to.
if she's got a job and she's got a driver's, once she has those things in place, we can take a look at it, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So Ms. Coleman, she just needs to stay in touch with these folks and let them know when those things happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, today then, in each case, I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue placement of all the children. I find there's a continuing danger to return the children home at this time. I'm going to order the service plans as an order of the court. I'll order there be no change in Messiah's placement until there's either some agreement about that or a hearing. But I mean, it sounds like we're working hard to make that work. All right, our next hearing will be on March 3rd of 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. So, Ms. Coleman, get busy on all your services, and I'll see you back then, and we'll see how things are going.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a great day.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Desiree, you stay in touch with me, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Judge, I'm not sure where you are in your docket, but if I could get a 2 or 3 minute bench conference, I sure would appreciate it.
Yeah, we're very behind. I'm gonna actually, I've got an interpreter logged in for the.
It can wait, Judge.
Well,
It
it's
can
okay.
wait.
I'll get Miss Katie to bring people in, but I'm gonna jump over. And Miss Coleman, you're free to go. I'm gonna jump over. He's here for Ruiz, correct, Miss Katie? She may be on the phone or something.
But I believe that would be the one
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
an interpreter would be here for.
All right, I'm because Mr. Pross is present and he may have somewhere else to be. We all know what his schedule is like, so I do not want to lose him. So we're gonna skip over to the Ruiz case and then we'll come back.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me make sure. Miss Katie, are you where you can hear me? Okay, she must be tied up talking with somebody. Mr. Nowak, can I visit with you later today?
Absolutely, Judge, at your convenience.
Okay, let me make a note.
A phone call would be perfect. I trust the court knows what case we're talking about.
Yeah, do we need to have anybody? I mean, is it just something procedural? I mean, is this something we need to have everybody present?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if we're on YouTube right now or not.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah,
You want to just email Miss Katie and let her, she can take a look at it and see whether she thinks it's something we're gonna have everybody.
I'll do that, Judge. Thank you
She's
so
very
much.
good at figuring out whether we gotta have everybody together or not.
I plan on being at trial on December 1st.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I
I'm
have,
getting-
I have a feeling I know what that's all about, but
I got a letter from the State Bar of Texas, and they have not accepted that thing. I plan on being there on December 1, despite all the arrows being shot at me.
yeah.
And I've got an opinion from the ethics hotline. I think I'm good to go. I just want the court to know that I'm not sure what's going to happen on December 1. And you know what? We don't need the meeting because we pretty much discussed it right here.
Okay, I'm aware. So I mean, that's something I do need to know, but okay.
Thank you, Judge. And with your
I'm
permission, I'll
seeing,
move.
I'm seeing a new title for you in the future, backup counsel.
Thank you so much. I'll leave the courtroom for the day.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
In the interest of Adriel Ruiz, we're here today for a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud. If you need a copy, let me know. We'll make it available. All right, we'll take announcements in just a minute, but as everybody is aware, we are very behind on our docket this morning. We've had all kinds of delays. We just held a hearing in this case, so I think I'm pretty up to speed with everything except for what's happened since that hearing. So if everyone will please, let's limit our discussion today to what has happened since we were last together. Which is a reminder, let's see, that was just like I said, not too awfully long ago. I'll have to double check that date. Okay. What, within the last 10 days, 2 weeks? Seems like.
I think it was a little longer than that, but it hasn't been
Well,
that long ago.
I'm trying to pull it up, but
I think it's been about 6 weeks, maybe, Your Honor.
time flies, I guess, when you're having fun. All right, September 11th. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the department. Shay Cairns is a permanency specialist. We're present ready, Your Honor.
William Hamker on behalf of Ashley Clark, intervener. We're here and ready.
Gary Morales on behalf of respondent father Marco Reeves. He is present. We are ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Adriel.
Okay. Ms. Cairns, if you'll unmute for me, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You can go ahead and proceed giving us an update, and then I'll give everybody time to ask you questions.
Okay. Adriel was placed back with his dad on September 30th. He's doing very well in his placement. Marco's doing well with his, the schedule and everything. I believe Adriel had a hard first week, just getting used to a new routine. Alicia did test positive for cocaine at the beginning of the month. So she does not have visits with him currently. But everything else is going good.
Your Honor, also to update the court, an order to mediate was done on this case a while back. We'd reached out to the mediator, given some dates. Everybody kind of responded, then kind of fell out of touch and nothing happened on those dates. After the last hearing, it was, you authorized that we could go into the middle of November for some dates, extended a little bit. I reached back out, did not hear anything from the mediator. Got back in touch with them yesterday. They've gotten a date. It looks like we are possibly going to set this for November 24th for the mediation. But I wanted to update the court. That kind of fell through the cracks. I know the mediator was moving offices and stuff at the time, and I think things just fell through the cracks on that. But we are getting that set up for the mediation. Mr. Hamker was added on to that due to the order came in before he intervened. But everybody, all the parties have been included on these emails, and we should have that set up soon.
All right, so November 24th, it looks like.
That's what I believe that email came in this morning. It looked like that's probably going to be the date, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's at 9 a.m. Is that correct?
I believe it will be. And the Olga, so Mr. Lambert's assistant Olga sent out an email this morning. She had just spoken with Mr. Morales, and we'll set it up for the morning of the 24th, and she's gonna get the confirmation out letter today. Should get out shortly. I do know, Your Honor, on the court report, one of the recommendation at this time would be for the department to be dismissed out. I don't think we're quite there yet. We have adjudicated the father in this case, so we'll have to go through a final order. So we won't be asking for that today. We'll work on the mediation and try to get an agreement.
And child hadn't been home all that long either.
Child, yes, ma'am. Child's been home about a month.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I saw that and I had big question marks there,
Yep.
so that takes care of that. Okay. So his mother still, in spite of the drug test, is she still at Martha's home?
No, she lost her place there.
Where is she?
I tried to reach out to her yesterday and this morning. I do not know. I know that she was staying in her car. I believe she said she might go back to Colorado, but the newborn was removed from her.
Okay. All right. I don't have Ms. Archer present, so Mr. Morales, any questions for Ms. Cairns?
No, Your Honor.
Anything to add today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hamker, any questions?
Just a few, Your Honor.
Okay.
Was the newborn tested for drugs?
Yes, whenever she had him.
Was it negative or positive?
She was negative.
Okay.
This was just recent.
When was the test that tested positive for cocaine?
On the 9th of October.
October 9th of 2025?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does the biological father, has he gotten his driver's license?
No, he has not.
Is he still driving?
No, he's not.
Do he and the mother have any contact together?
No, they don't.
Do you follow either his social media or the mother's social media?
I do not follow either one.
Would it concern you if they're on social media each in the same car together?
I know that they went to one of the appointments with Marco as a passenger in Alicia's car.
Okay.
When?
Is that for me or Hamker? I'm sorry.
That's for you. I mean, what was the time frame of that? That's relevant.
That was, let me look at the email real quick. Because they were going to the appointment for the newborn at the clinic.
Before her drug screen?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hamker, go ahead.
Would you like for me to try and send you clips of them traveling together on their on the internet in the car with the gentleman driving?
Yes, if you could. I was not made aware of this.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor. I will send those, and I will try and file those with the court as well, with the mother and father in the same car driving.
What's the time frame, Mr. Hamker?
Yeah, and I'm gonna object to just
Well,
filing that. That's not
Yeah.
properly introduced as evidence. That's not a video, so.
I can bring it to the mediation. That'll be fine. I
My
just thought
question-
I just thought that CPS or St. Francis might want that because I know the court ordered him not to drive with the child and all that. Evidently, from what the witness says, he's not made an attempt to get his driver's license. And I don't know. I can't see in the back seat. I know he's driving. The mother's with him, and I don't know where the child is. I assume somewhere, and I just think they might find that of importance, and I'll be
Well,
more than
again,
happy to
my
send that to
question,
them.
but my question, since it's all out here now, my question is, do we have a time reference for that video or whatever it is?
I will check and see if there's a time and date stamp on that. It's not in my computer. It's in my office, and I'm recovering from surgery, so I don't have that access in front of me. But I will try and I'll try and run that down and send whatever I can get.
All right, so we don't know sitting here today whether that was prior to my order or whether the child is in the vehicle, whether it was prior
I
to
believe-
mom's positive, hang on, whether it was prior to mom's positive test for cocaine. I mean, in fairness, we don't know any of those things sitting here today, correct?
All I know is I think the driving is since the child's been home, but I don't know where the child was.
Okay. All right, well, I'll let let everybody take a look at it. I guess at mediation.
Judge,
have
I would
nothing
ask
further.
Mr. Amber if he could send that out before mediation, if he could email it to me and my clients, we'll take a look at it.
I'll try to get it to all counsel before mediation. In fact, I'll try to see if I can get it this week.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Ruiz, when I said no driving with the child in the car, I meant it. So be aware. Mr. Morales, you can discuss that with him, but that has occurred since my last order. Then I want to make sure he understands that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Hamker, did you have any further questions?
I have none, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck in your recovery.
Thank you very much.
Being here is not probably helpful.
That's right. I understand.
All right then, Ms. Zavala.
No questions, just my report if you're ready for that.
I am.
Okay, so Marco has been very cooperative with me. I had to reschedule our visit, but I have been out to the home to meet with him and Adriel. I was pretty impressed because, right around 5, 6 o'clock can be a really hard time for a 2-year-old. Adriel looked really good. Then he had a little bit of a meltdown and Dad handled it really well. Calm, loving, got him turned around. And by the time I left, he was giggling and laughing. The home looked appropriate. We discussed the driving situation and he laid out to me his plan and that includes other drivers and walking some places they need to get. I left with no concerns in terms of how Adriel is doing there. He seemed very comfortable and seemed to be doing really well.
Okay. All right, for today, then we're going to continue. The department is temporary managing conservator, continue the child's current placement with the father. Reinforced again, no driving with the child. And y'all will go to mediation then hopefully November 24th. I find there would be a continuing danger to return the child to the mother's care at this time. And our final is set January 6th of 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. So good luck at mediation. Hope it goes well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
y'all.
Judge.
Thank you.
In the interest of Izzy Lucero, we're here for an initial permanency hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. So if you need a copy, let us know and we'll make it available. All right. I'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Tucker Ivy is the permanency specialist with St. Francis. We're present ready. Ms. Groff, you're muted.
I think I've got it now. I'm
Yes.
trying to operate off my phone. I'm an election worker. I'm sitting out in the parking lot in my car. So
My
I appreciate,
apologies.
no problem. We're very slow today. I think we've had 4 people in the last hour and a half. So we're good. So Meredith Graff appearing for Samantha Cortez. I do not believe my client is present. I've actually not been able to reach her in all the different means that I have. So I'm not expecting her to come today. But I am present and ready.
T.D.
Stacey's
Hammonds
follow-
for
oh,
the father. Sorry. T.D.
I'm
Hammonds
sorry,
for the
T.D.
father, Ricky Lucero. Judge, he was in his vehicle today up in Dumas, but I can give you an update of what's happening with him.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Izzy.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Ivy. I swore you in earlier today. Still promise to tell me the truth?
Still do.
All right.
So
What's
I'll start with
the
Izzy. She's doing phenomenal. She's hitting their developmental milestones. Jessica and John McMeans have said that they're okay with Ricky and Samantha knowing where Izzy is now, that they've talked about it and they feel safe and they're okay with it. But Izzy is with her brother. And so her brother has this natural relationship with her and he loves just being around her. And she has another brother in the home and they both love her. And Jessica has told me that Izzy lights up whenever they get home from school. And that's when she's most active and most of the time around the house she's just hanging out with Jessica until she's bored. But as soon as the kids come home, they give her so much attention and that they love each other. And I've gotten tons of pictures from Jessica about like with Izzy and how she's doing with the boys and she's doing so great. Ricky and Samantha I have not been able to get a hold of since the last court hearing and they haven't shown up to a drug test. They've done some services. Ricky has, I believe, completed 2 parenting classes, and then Samantha has done 1 service, I believe. And they called to set up the OSAR, and that was the last time I had heard from them. I have a parent support worker that goes out to their house once a week and tries to get in contact with them via phone and like going to their house and reaching out to them. And she said she saw them, like she walked up to the house and saw them walking away from their house and they got in the car and drove off. So I've tried to work with them and I haven't been able to get a hold of them. They've been out of contact. I was also called by an attorney's secretary named Amber, and she told me that charges were being pressed on Ricky for assault since he was on probation against Samantha. And Samantha had, I don't know what the legal term is for it, but she pretty much pulled back her statement. But the prosecutor still said that he was going to press charges on Ricky for the assault. And that was in July, sometime early or late July, that that incident happened where Samantha called it in, but then she ended up taking it back, I believe I want to say or August. But that was yeah, that's all I have is I haven't been able to get a hold of the parents, and neither as a parent support worker.
Okay,
And
Mr. Trout, you know anything about criminal charges or anything like that?
I didn't until he just said this, Your Honor. It looks like there is an indictment against Ricky. Let me look at it real quick. Looks like it came down on October 2nd. And it is against Mom.
Okay.
So there is an indictment out there. Let's see. He is on bond for it. It looks like. And there's supposed to be there's a no contact order between him and Mom.
What was the actual indictment?
The indictment is a assault family member household with previous conviction. So felony 3rd degree.
Bond restriction, I assume.
Yes, ma'am. No direct or indirect contact or communication with the victim. Follow the MOAP, not go within 200 yards, place of employment of the victim or other specifically named place.
All right, this day just gets better. Sorry. All right, Ms. Groff, anything?
No, I have nothing to add, Your Honor. And unfortunately, she's been avoiding me too. So I'll keep trying, but based on what I'm hearing, I don't have a lot of great hope. So.
All right, Mr. Hammonds.
Judge, I spoke to Ricky this morning. He is up in Dumas. His mom lives up there. He has another child that his mother is keeping. He indicated to me he has had a chronic medical problem, gout, which has limited his ability to work. He's hoping to get that under control and get a job with JB Swift. This last month, his phone was turned off. He had no money. He has gotten it turned back on. I'm going to call him as soon as we get done. I will inform him about the indictment. I'll ask him. I don't know who his attorney is on that, but I'll get that information. Find out. I guess, Mr. Trout, do you see who his bonding company is?
Let me see.
Or are you able to get that information?
No, I've got it. It looks like MTAW, Josh Dixon and Dixon Bail Bonds.
Okay, I got you.
And it looks like Alton Estrada with the public defender's office is his attorney on the criminal case.
Okay, all right. But yeah, Judge, I've called him and told him, he's got to fix himself before he can work on getting Izzy back. So, he needs to get his own affairs in order.
But you've at least got a contact number for him, Mr. Ivy. Do you have that?
No, ma'am. He hasn't reached out to me at all. But
Okay.
if I can get that number, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, Mr. Hammonds, if you could email that or put it in the chat or something.
Tucker, do you have my email address and my cell phone number?
I do, sir. I'll email you and ask for it.
Yeah, if you'll email me, I'll email you back.
And obviously, Mr. Hammonds, he needs to be aware he's not supposed to have any contact with Mom, or he may be making his already big problem bigger.
Correct, and I'm sure he's probably aware of that, Judge. I don't believe, we discussed it briefly, I don't believe they've been having any contact. He didn't have much to add as far as how Samantha was doing when I asked him. I mean, if she was working her services or anything like that, he was not aware of how she was doing, so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, Tucker is right. Izzy seems to be doing great where she is, seems to be thriving, and I've got no concerns about that placement.
Okay. Okay, I'll continue the department as temporary manager conservator and continue the child's placement. Find the continuing danger to return the child home to either parent. We are going to set an early final in the case due to no progress. So we're going to go ahead and set that on March 3rd of 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Yes.
All right.
Again, thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Your Honor.
Judge, real
I am
quick,
going to go vote, Ms. Groff, so maybe, you
Yeah.
know, maybe I'll be your 6th or 8th
Oh,
person.
I'm over at Kids Inc.
Judge, real quick before everybody gets away. Since neither parent has been drug screening for us, can we get drug screens ordered in case we get in touch with them?
Sure, roll it in there. Both parents to hair and UA if we can find them.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then, cause number 99983E in the interest of Davina Ben, Leanne Turner, and Riley Turner. We're here for an initial permanency hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming and we're recording to the Zoom cloud. If anybody needs a copy, let me know and we'll make it available. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the department. Courtney Brown is the permanency specialist. We're present ready, Your Honor.
Tanner off on behalf of the mother, Candace Foster Ben. She's present and I'm ready, Your Honor.
Yeah, Phil, on behalf of Nicholas Ben, he's present as well. He and the mother are both on the same video feed. We're ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the children.
Donna Rowland with CASA.
Okay, thank you all very much. And Mr. Turner is not present. And he does not have an attorney at this time, and I believe he's still not been located. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, Your Honor. I don't believe Ms. Brown has had any contact with him. I know during the initial investigation in this case, just looking back at the investigative report, back in May, he had called the investigator when she sent him a letter, but I think that was the last contact ever made with him, Your Honor. He is in California, I believe.
At least that's where we think he is.
Yes, ma'am. That's where he was when this initial contact happened, but I don't think we know since then.
Right. Okay. All right. Everybody, my sincere apologies for the huge delay today. We've had to jump around some on the docket. We didn't have people we needed. I am very sorry. We're doing our best, but I really appreciate your patience and I apologize for keeping you guys waiting so long. Okay. Let's see, Ms. Brown, if you'll raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear you'll tell the truth today?
I do.
Okay. All right, if you want to go ahead and give us an update, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Judge. Children are still placed at the High Plains Children's Home. All 3 are doing well. We've had a few issues with Riley at school with grades and things like that. He was failing math. When I spoke to him last week, he told me he was getting his grades up and doing better. The girls are doing well. A few little behavioral things, nothing too extreme at placement, and both are doing well at school. They have been appointed a CASA worker since the last hearing. Parents have completed all of the services in their initial family plans since the status hearing.
it was recommended that they start blended family counseling. So Nicholas and Candace have started that. And it's also going to be recommended that we start with some family therapy. Initially, it's going to start with Candace and Leanne. We're currently trying to find a therapist that can work with everyone's schedule. So I am working on that. We're going to get that started as soon as possible.
In your honor, going off of that, just from what I looked at yesterday, I know is a case filed against Mr. Ben on this case, in regards to this case. From what I see, there is a no contact order in there. So parents have completed their services, but we're going to be stalled because we can't, I have not seen any type of addendum or anything done to this that lets him have contact per CPS case. So right now he's got no contact order with anyone under 17.
Okay, and that was a question I had because the CASA report, I think, indicated that he was having visits. So I was wondering what the deal
Ms.
was.
Brown?
No, he is not having any visits at this time. Candace does have a weekly visit with all 3 children for 4 hours. That was increased from 1 hour to 2 hours, and that's happening every week. But right now, Nicholas has not had any contact with the children. He is working on trying to get that addendum, though, so that he can at least have visits with Davina.
Okay.
Judge, I was going to wait for my turn, but it
Yeah.
seems like an appropriate place to just
Sure.
speak up. Mr. Ben tells me that no contact provision was lifted. He hasn't provided me any documentation on that, but he tells me it was just very recently lifted. So perhaps Ms. Brown can look into that and see.
Yes, I can follow up with that for sure.
And I can check on it too, Your Honor. I like I said, I looked in Odyssey into the case yesterday. I just didn't see anything on that. If it has, it may not have been filed yet. But I did not see anything stating that had been changed or modified any kind of way. But we'll keep looking on that because, like I said, we are kind of stalled on where we can move forward since parents are together. And if that's still in place, it's going to hinder what we can do, or hinder a lot what we can do with Mr. Ben at this point, if that has not been lifted.
Mr. Ben, can you all unmute?
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes these things have a lag time getting into the actual system. Sometimes parents think they have been, but an order hasn't been signed yet. So tell me what you know.
No, I'm still working on that with my attorney. So what it said, what I was granted visitation with Leanne, supervised visitation with Leanne, and nothing was ever said about Riley or Davina. It was the only thing addressed was with Leanne and per the bond order. I was granted supervised visits with her.
When did this happen? When did you have this hearing?
In July. Yeah.
Okay. That.
And we're working on getting anything else, any other restrictions changed.
Who represents you in that case?
Yarberry, Miss Yarberry.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
Maybe with the public defenders.
Could be.
Yeah, public defender, Miss Yarberry.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody can reach out to the MAC maybe and find out what's going on.
And Judge, I can tell you what I'm looking at. in Odyssey on the case. Let me pull this back up. There was a hearing in July that the bond was done July 9th, it looks like. Let's see. Okay. It says no unsupervised with her and no contact
Yeah.
in 17. So that was written in a different spot in his bond. I'm just now seeing it. So we can probably start supervised contact with Leanne.
So,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
all right.
No, that's fine. I don't see anything. It says no unsupervised contact with Leanne Turner. It does not say anything about the two Ben children. It just says no contact with any child under 17.
All right. So for purposes of our case, we will track the language of that,
Okay.
which will say there will be no unsupervised contact with Leanne.
Can I ask a question, Daniel? There's two provisions in there. I think that you said one specifically states no contact under 17. And then there's another provision that gives supervised contact with Leanne only, correct?
Correct. It does not address the other two children.
Okay, so he then, per that bond, would still be prohibited from anybody else but Leanne, which is odd, but apparently that's what the language is saying.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of got us, Your Honor, because his children are the ones he can't have contact with, and the alleged victim in this criminal case is the one he can have supervised with. So it's kind of odd the way they did this one. But it specifically states no unsupervised contact with Leanne Turner, no offenses against the state of Texas, no contact with any child under 17, and abstain from drug use unless directed by a physician. So those are the bond conditions right now.
Okay, so Mr. Ben, the reason I want to track that language where it says there will be no unsupervised contact with Leanne, but that doesn't necessarily mean there will be
Right.
supervised contact with Leanne.
And I want to
hang on a minute. I really want Ms. Trout, I want you to reach out to either the prosecutor in the case, whatever, and clarify that
Yes,
this
ma'am.
wasn't, that it shouldn't have been Davina's name in there versus Leanne.
Yes, ma'am.
I agree. That's all, it's kind of strange.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to make sure that they just didn't get the wrong child's name in that order.
Okay.
So we're not going to do that. My point being, Mr. Ben, just because it says that you can have no unsupervised contact with Leanne, I'm not ordering any visits yet with Leanne until we get this straightened out. Because it's very odd. So we need to talk to the prosecutor and or your criminal attorney and find out before we move forward on anything, Ms. Brown. If we can get it resolved and everybody's satisfied, then that's fine. You all don't have to come back to me. But I want to be very clear and very careful about that before we start something.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ms. Brown, anything else today?
No, ma'am.
All right, then, Ms. Naranjo?
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Brown, were there several outcries made by Leanne since she's been in care?
Yes, there have been a few.
And what are the outcomes of those investigations on those outcries?
I believe a few have been admin closed and a few have been ruled out.
And what does it mean by admin closed?
The latest one, because the children were removed for physical abuse, they didn't investigate it because the children were already removed for the allegation that was in the intake.
Now, one of the outcries made by Leanne was that someone at placement had exposed themselves to her. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that investigation ruled out?
It was.
And why was it ruled out?
From what I gathered, the story kind of changed from the time it was reported to the time it was investigated. And then Leanne admitted that she had been told by somebody else at the placement to tell the story.
And was there also an outcry made by Leanne that the mother had been burned by her father?
That wasn't no, that wasn't an intake. It was a concern that they had voiced to placement. And I'm not sure if it was because they had seen the burns and made assumptions that it was violence towards the mother. But that wasn't one of the intakes that came in.
So no investigation has been done on that?
No, ma'am.
Now, you testified that all the parents have completed all their services, is that correct?
Yes.
And the purposes of completing services is to mitigate the reasons for the removal, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, would the department in St. Francis be opposed if Mr. Ben is no longer at the residence and we begin a reunification plan with mother?
We're not opposed to that, and I believe we have briefly discussed it, but we'd have to get the logistics worked out about where Nicholas would be going.
Would the department of St. Francis be opposed to increasing mother's visitation to about 3 to 4 hours a week, considering that she has completed all her services?
No, ma'am, we wouldn't be against that.
Would it be possible to move the visitation to Saturday to accommodate mother's work schedule better?
I would have to get in touch with placement, but we could try to figure that out for sure.
And would the department be imposed to have for mother having unsupervised visitation in the event that we cannot begin a reunification plan as of yet?
I would have to staff it with my PD before I could say yes or no on that, but I would be willing to staff it.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Hill?
Yes, thank you, Judge. Ms. Brown, back to the allegations that have been made by Leanne. She has, by my understanding, also made, one of the allegations was some kind of sexual abuse by Nicholas. Is that correct?
The intake alleged that she was forced to watch pornography.
Okay. And is that one of the allegations that was ruled out?
Yes.
Okay. Did she make some kind of an allegation about Nicholas making her wear a shot collar?
Yes.
Was that ruled out?
That was the physical abuse one that was admin closed.
Okay, and the difference between admin close and rule out is admin close it doesn't matter at this point because she's already removed. Is that correct?
Essentially, it means that an investigator is not going to go out and further interview the child.
Okay, because there's no point since she's no longer in the residence, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. And you said the burn allegation was not made by Leanne, but someone else at placement?
Leanne had voiced concern for her mother to placement because they were worried about their mother's safety with Nicholas in the home. The burns might be related to why they were concerned because there was a physical, representation of something happening on their mother's body. I don't know if they connected those two things or not, but that was not an intake that came in, but a concern that was voiced to me by placement.
Okay. So we've established that she alleged that her father made her watch pornography, or Nicholas made her watch pornography. That was ruled out. That some staff member exposed themselves to her at placement. That was ruled out, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That the dog collar was administratively closed. The burn, you've addressed that. So were there other allegations or just these 4?
Those are the only ones that have come in so far.
Okay. So in your permanency report, unless I missed it, but I read it a couple times, I didn't see anything in your permanency report that listed these allegations and the fact that they were ruled out or closed. Is it in there and I missed it?
It should have been in the boxes that had the DFPS allegations. It doesn't go into specifics about what the intake said, but it had physical abuse, neglectful supervision, things like that, and then the outcome of it. The only one that would not be in there is the admin closed one, because that had happened after I submitted the report.
Okay. Do you have that report with you or in front of you, or do you have access to it?
Yes.
Just for my benefit, so perhaps I can read one of these more accurately, could you point me to where you're talking about?
It's under the history of families' involvement with child welfare, and it's section B.
If you could give me the page number at the bottom left, that'd probably be the most helpful for me.
It's page 4.
Page 4, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's section B, the history of involvement with DFPS and other child welfare agencies.
Okay, so there's just no specifics given. Okay, I was looking for specifics so I could connect the dots more clearly, but these are just, I guess, generic, but it's okay. I see what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
So what, if any, let me rephrase that. This child obviously has a history of lying. Would you agree with that?
She has a history of making up stories, yes.
That would be lying, right? If you make something up that's not true, that's a lie. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so she does have a history of lying.
Yes.
Okay. Does that factor into this anywhere with regard to the allegations that she's made against Mr. Bin?
Yes, and that's the thing that we're trying to figure out what the cause of that is with family therapy.
Okay, so St. Francis does acknowledge the child is lying or has a history of lying. And the goal at this point, if I'm understanding, if I'm reading between the lines or interpreting what you're saying correctly, the goal at this point through therapy / counseling / whatever is to figure out what's going on with the child and what else she may be telling the truth or lying about.
It's also to mitigate the concerns for the removal, yes.
Okay, well, the concerns for the removal are her allegations, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The concerns that caused the removal are based on her allegations.
Yes, but we still have to take those allegations seriously.
No, I understand. But I assume you're taking them now with a grain of salt since the child is now known to be a liar.
We'll investigate every allegation that happens or comes in afterwards, but our goal is to hopefully figure out if they are lies or stories, why she's making them up.
Very good. I think everyone would like to know that. Okay. So if the criminal bond conditions are such that Mr. Bin can have contact with Leanne, which again is, as we talked earlier, it would be odd that the court would allow contact with Leanne, but not the others or Davina. Is it St. Francis's position that there should still be no contact, or there should be therapeutic contact, or what would St. Francis's position be at this point?
If the bond restrictions are reworded and he's allowed to have supervised contact, I believe therapeutic would be our first step.
Okay. And what about contact with the other two children, if that's allowed? What would that look like?
Those would be supervised.
Okay. So St. Francis, assuming the bond conditions can get straightened out because they are very odd, St. Francis would be in favor of supervised visitation with all the children.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and also in your permanency report, in the summaries at the bottom, that basically it sounds pretty negative that the concerns have not been alleviated, etc. Mr. Bin has worked all his services. He is doing what he's supposed to do. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so the way I interpret your paragraph summary at the bottom is it's things are still bad and not going well and there should be no contact. So that's not exactly right. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's working towards the goal.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Hill, anything else to report today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala?
No questions, just a report if you're ready for that.
Okay.
Your Honor, I've met repeatedly with all three kids. I very much believe that any contact with Leanne and Mr. Ben needs to start therapeutically. When that becomes available, she's got a therapist that she's working with regularly. I have real concerns in terms of just jumping straight into regular visitation. I actually would prefer them all to be therapeutic, but that may not be practical. So at least with Leanne, I would ask that if there's any issue regarding expanded contact, that we reset this case so that we could call her therapist. I would like for Deborah Smith to have some input in that. There are a number of things that I've seen and heard that concern me, and I do think, we're always working towards reunification, but we need that family therapy piece in order to get there. It concerns me when we're talking about just having Mr. Ben leave the home. Clearly, the parents are together. If we reunify, then we're missing that whole communication therapeutic piece that I think is necessary. Now, the kids very much want to see their mom and spend time with her, and I've got no objection to those kind of visits, but it doesn't seem realistic to talk about Mr. Ben moving out just for the period of this case so the kids can move in, so that then when the case is closed, he just moves back in and there's not that addressing of the initial problem with the therapeutic. So I would object to reunification at this time, but I don't object to more contact with mom. And I hope that we can get therapeutic started so that we can work through some of those issues.
Okay, and CASA?
Thank you, Your Honor. Kids are doing well. Courtney, thank you for clarifying that the kids aren't having contact with the dad. They're doing good. I have no concerns with their current placement. I would have to agree with Stacy as far as I don't have anything against with them getting more visits with mom, but I would have to agree therapeutic visits to start if they're all gonna have eventually visits with both mom and dad.
All right, so if we set another hearing to hear from child's therapist and get this bond thing, try to get the real skinny on that. 2-3 weeks, give everybody enough time? Or do
Think
we
so,
need to do
Donna.
it after Thanksgiving?
Probably after Thanksgiving, Your Honor. I don't know what the therapist schedule is going to be and availability. I'll try to get in touch with the prosecutor now as quick as I can on this.
And the problem is that first week of after Thanksgiving, we were in a jury. Some of us are in a jury trial. So
Yes, ma'am.
Let me look at the calendar real quick. Miss Katie, could we set something for the afternoon of December 4th? obviously subject to our jury trial. But,
Sure.
okay. Let's set it for the, could council, can you all do that the afternoon of the 4th?
I should be
Can,
able to.
Judge.
I have no idea of Miss Smith's schedule, but I'll reach out to her as soon as we're finished here today. Deborah Smith.
I'm available on that date, Judge.
Okay. We'll try to find out about the therapist, and so it could be set, you know, we might be setting at 1, we might be setting at 2, 3, or 4. You know, we'll see what we can figure out.
And
And we'll try to get that, you know, we'll try to get it pinned down for everybody as quickly as we can.
Judge, I know we have on the 4th, I know there's, I think 3, maybe 4 finals set that day. But
We have a lot.
I'm hoping those will be, we're mediating some of those soon, so hopefully we'll get somewhere on those and they will.
Yeah.
But that day could run long, is all I'm saying.
It may be that if we can reach this, it'll be later, you know, in the afternoon even, but
Yes.
yeah, I just, you know, we just keep pushing and pushing and pushing stuff. So you know, let's at least see if we can't. We'll shoot for that day.
Yes,
Leave it
ma'am.
that way. Okay. All right, then. So for today, I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue children's placement. I find there would be a continuing danger to return the children home at this time. I'm not going to order any change in the visitation until this bond condition stuff is clarified. So we'll regroup on December 4th that afternoon, see what answers we have and get the input from the therapist on this. You know, unless everybody's agreeable to therapeutic contact. So, you know, that hearing might be avoided if we get the bond stuff figured out. And if everybody's agreeable to therapeutic. If the bond language is incorrect, we may be shifting gears and talking about him having supervised contact with Davina. And that's almost what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
That is just simply an error in that order. That may change things to the point that we don't need a hearing. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's just get that clarified and figure out where we are at that point.
And Judge, just to clarify, I know Ms. Rowland had some questions on the visitation stuff. I know at the beginning of this case, this court had ordered only, I believe, supervised with Davina and Dad. Was the only child he could have visits with. The bond and everything didn't come in until July, and of course, this case was initially filed in May. So that's probably where some of the confusion came in on when visits were happening and stuff, but the bond conditions came later into our case. So that hopefully will clear up some of that confusion, but I'll get in touch with the prosecutor once we get off today and see where we stand on this.
Okay. Okay, I know that's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but you know, it's kind of hard to know.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, till we make sure that we got the right kiddo named. So okay,
Judge,
all right. So
question. I'm so sorry.
No,
I got an order that Richard Turner had been appointed an attorney.
Miss Katie, I don't have it on my current stuff, but
No, Judge, it came in just a couple days ago, so haven't worked it yet.
okay, he submitted it. We were out for a judicial conference all last week, so I'm sure I will be seeing it very soon.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't misread.
Okay. So that's where that stands. So I will take a look at it right away.
Thank you, Judge.
And
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could inquire on if we could potentially get mother's visitation increased to 3 to 4 hours a week until we have this hearing in December. I believe there was really no objection to increasing her visitation.
I don't think there's any objection. I'm wondering, I mean, if it's even feasible. And here's why I'm hesitating, Mr. Naranjo, is if when we get this whole mess resolved, if we're adding in the component of therapeutic visit, if that's going to also wrap mom in, then we've got some more time committed there. And so, with the kids with school and, all of that, I mean, we just, it just gets hard to get it all worked in. Ms. Brown, I mean, is it realistic we could go that many hours?
We could increase to 3. That's feasible.
Okay, I was thinking she said it was at 3. We're not at 3 now.
It's got 2 hours every week.
Okay, all right.
3.
All right, if we think we can do 3 without screwing up the kids' schedules and all that, then I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Does that help, Ms. Naranjo?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I'll see everybody back December 4th, maybe. And otherwise, our next hearing is March 3rd, 2026 at 9 o'clock, or 9 o'clock docket.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Brown,
Again, thank you all so much for your patience. And I'm very sorry to keep everybody waiting. I hate doing that. You all know I hate that. And I'm sorry that it's just been a train wreck this morning.
Your Honor, could you put Ms. Brown and I in a room?
Sure.
Thanks, Judge.
And you can put Michaela in there also.
Okay.
Are we
All right,
now
everybody
going
else,
until
I'll
1?
see back at 1 o'clock. Yep.
Judge, I'm filling in for Natalie Archer. Is there what was supposed to be an 11 o'clock hearing? Is that going to take place now, or is that going at
Okay.
1?
I didn't know you were filling in.
Oh, shit.
We held that hearing. Well, yeah, we held that hearing. I'm sorry, Mr. Hill. I did not realize you were filling in for her. She wasn't present at a 9:45 hearing, and so we thought she was just stuck somewhere or something. We didn't know. So
Who's
we've
that,
held
Natalie?
it. Yeah, she wasn't here at 9:45 for a hearing, which we've moved to 1 o'clock now.
Correct. Okay,
So
and you moved is it Ruiz? You moved Ruiz to 1 o'clock as well, or you say you already did that one?
No, I moved a case called the Evans case. No, Ruiz we did.
You did Ruiz. You did it before
This
one, or
yes. I had a Mr. Perales interpreter present, and so I jumped over to do it because I didn't know whether he needed to
Gotcha.
be in court somewhere else. So, but we just thought she was tied up somewhere because she hadn't been here earlier in the morning. But her 9:45 has been moved to 1 o'clock. I know somebody was going to try to reach out to her, and I don't know
she
whether
knows about that.
Okay.
Okay, all right, sounds good,
So,
Judge. Thank you. And I guess I
my
apologize
apologies.
for-
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. But my apologies as well for not, I guess, notifying someone that I would be here on the Ruiz, I think it is. So, okay, thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Cause number 100329E in the interest of Rodney Allen Evans II. We're here for our status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. I don't have a reporter today. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trow for the department. Katie Smith is the permanency specialist. We are present, ready, Your Honor.
Natalie Archer for the mother, Riley Sumi, and we are both present and ready. Lori and Lucia, on behalf of the father, Rodney Evans, Your Honor, we're present and ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
All right, thank you. Okay, Ms. Smith, if you will, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear you'll tell the truth today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Smith, I guess you're going to give us the update. So if you want to go ahead, that'd be great.
Since the filing of the court, the update in regards for Rodney Evans, he's still in the same placement located in Lubbock County.
Okay, Mr. Evans, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Do you have more than one device logged in?
I think he and mom are sitting right next to each other and they both are logged in on.
Yeah, they're logged in on two separate devices. It's probably better for them just to appear on one camera and turn off the other one.
Yeah, or they'll have to get in two separate rooms. Or mute one device. All right, and they both appear frozen now. Okay. Miss Simi, can you hear me? Okay, Miss Simi, can you hear me okay? Okay, can y'all hear me all right? Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, and then since the last court report, Rodney is currently still placed at his same placement. And since the doctor added rice to his formula, he is no longer spitting up food. So he's being able to hold down his formula. And he is doing very well in placement. And for the parents, I have still not had any physical contact with either Rodney or Miss Riley.
Ms. Smith, you generated family plans of service for the parents?
Yes, I do.
And those, have you been able to get signatures from parents or been able to go over them with parents?
No, I have not.
Okay. Have you emailed them or sent them a copy of them?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And those reports or family plans were filed with the court on October 28th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking today for the court to make the family plans of service in order of the court?
Yes.
Okay. Parents, drug screen for us, is that correct?
For the month of October.
Yes, ma'am. Have they, or end of September, it looks like they did test. Did they test during the month of October?
During the month of October, we requested for UA and they did not go.
Okay. When was that? October what?
I believe it was October 30th, 28th, 29th.
Okay, so just last week?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We were never told about that happening.
Wait a minute, hang on. Okay, and I know there's stuff y'all want to say or ask, but we will get to everybody. I need to be able to just hear her uninterrupted, and then I'll give you guys a chance to ask.
Okay,
and say
I
what
just
you
want to
need
make
to
sure.
say.
Because, I mean.
All right, Ms. Smith, go ahead.
And I'll ask Ms. Smith, how did you send notice to the parents to drug screen?
It was through the parent support worker via email.
Okay. you sent it to the parent support worker for them to contact, or did you send it directly to the parents?
I sent through the parent support worker.
Okay. Do you know from your notes, do you know whether the parent support worker forwarded that information on?
I received an update from the parent support worker that the request was submitted.
Okay, how long we've lost them? Anybody got a way to text them?
Yeah, I'll try to reach out to them.
Even if you can just get them on the phone, we could put them on speakerphone. It looked like their internet was very unstable.
Your Honor, it went straight to voicemail. So I don't know if they're using that device to try to log on. So I don't know.
Yeah, or if a phone went dead or okay. I'll watch for them and see if they get logged back in. Okay, here's the dad. He's logged in under three. Separate devices. Let's see what we get connected. All right, Mr. Evans, can you hear me? Okay, we have a connection with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you all having trouble with your internet signal? Okay, you might try just turning your cameras off and just leaving your audio on. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, let's try that and see if that's better, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Smith, go ahead.
Ms. Smith, I believe you were stating, you had confirmation that that had been forwarded.
Yes, on October 28th, we had made prior arrangements, the PSW did on the case, to meet with both Rodney and Riley in a public area to pick them up. And they did not show. We were going to take them to UA that day.
Okay.
And since there was a no-show that day, we requested via email for the UA to go for that next day, for the 29th.
Okay. Did you get a response to that email?
I have not seen that email.
Okay, all right. Are you asking today, just to clear this up, that parents go drug screen for us today?
Yes.
Or by noon tomorrow? Okay. And do you need hair follicles, or you got hair follicles, you need UAs?
Yes.
Just from what I've seen, mom's hair follicle was insufficient the last time she went. Is that correct?
I have not seen the hair follicle.
Okay. Okay. Your Honor, I would ask for a hair follicle and a UA on mom and a UA, just a UA on dad. It looks like the department, during still an investigative stage, had sent them for both UA and hair follicles. Dad did get both of his done. Mom's UA was done, but her hair follicle, the test was canceled for insufficient specimen quantity. So we'd ask for a hair follicle for a baseline on that one.
Okay, so noted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have you had, I know you have a parent support worker, have you had issues getting in touch with parents, or have y'all been able to stay in communication?
I've been unsuccessful
Okay.
in consistent communication.
Okay. Do you have, are you the correct phone number? Do you know, are you trying to communicate by text, email, phone? How are you trying to get in touch with them?
All of the above: text, email, and phone.
Okay. And is this the same numbers that the parent support worker is able to get in touch with them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. How often do you try to get in touch with parents?
Weekly.
Okay. You're asking today for the drug screens and for the family's plans of service to be made in order of the court. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any other concerns with parents or anything else you need to update the court on or ask the court for today?
The only concern that I would like to notify the court with was during a virtual visit. I don't remember the exact date. There was some concerns where I had to end that visit due to the, it appeared that Riley was under the influence.
Okay. And we'll get the drug screens to try to correct that. But still, you're asking for the no in-person visits, still clean drug screen, which is already in order of the court. And we'll continue with virtual visits, but monitor them, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Archer, do you have any questions for Ms. Smith?
Ms. Smith, if Riley needs transportation to the drug screen, will you help with that?
St. Francis will help with that, yes.
Wonderful. That's the only question I have, Judge. That's the witness.
Anything to report to us today about your client or progress?
No, not today, Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lucero.
Thank you, Your Honor. What is a parent support worker? I mean, what all do they take care of in a case?
They help during the first 3 months of a case to help support the parents and get them to services and start services.
And as far as whenever let's say they reach out to a parent to go drug screen. Do they copy you on that email, or is that just left up to them to communicate with the parents?
It depends on the worker.
Okay, so is this worker, what's the name of the worker helping on this case?
Mindy.
Mindy? Okay, so when Mindy emailed or reached out to, I'm just gonna say Mr. Evans to go screen, did she copy you on that email?
I was not copied on an email, no.
So we don't know for sure whether or not they actually got notice, is that right?
Correct. At this point, I have not seen it.
Okay, all right, and as far as if they have until noon tomorrow to drug screen, is it gonna be Mindy that's gonna be in contact with the parents, well, specifically Mr. Evans, to set up a time to pick them up to go take them?
If they're needing transportation, it would be either I or Mindy, correct?
Okay, so if I were to tell you now that they will need transportation, can you go ahead and set that up? And whether it be Mindy, whoever emails them, could y'all copy me on there? And I'll just make sure to just ensure that they're getting those messages, and I'll follow up with them myself.
I will ensure in future communication that you are on all correspondence. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, and as far as the visits, how often are they having their virtual visits? On what day?
They're a weekly on Thursdays.
Do they have a set time on Thursdays?
There is a set time on Thursdays. I would have to look at my calendar to confirm that time.
All right. Well, they've shared, Mr. Evans has shared with me that sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 1:30, and sometimes the baby's been asleep. Could we possibly look to see when the baby, what his schedule is for napping, and then set it at a time, maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever time the child's not have taken a nap? Could we do that? Or could y'all set that up?
Did you hear the question?
I did. If I would be happy to look into getting alternative times to where the baby is awake and alert.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, I have no questions. Kelly's been out twice, has gotten to see Rodney in person twice. He's doing really good. I think there was at least one time where the placement received the link for visitation late. So once we get that pinned down, if we can just make sure everybody's got the link with plenty of time, but I've got no concerns about this placement, and he's doing really well.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ball.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had one more question for Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, I reached out to Mr. Evans, and we reviewed his family plan of service, and as far as the services that have been set up for him, can he go ahead and start contacting these service providers? I mean, payment has been made, and so he can get started on those? Or do you know?
If I've sent out the authorization,
Yes.
we wish that the parents reach out to the provider to make sure that they are able to see that client before sending out a service authorization.
Okay, so if y'all, let's say, recommended family support services for the parenting, just for example, they have to reach out to them first. But I mean, wouldn't the department or St. Francis or whoever already know whether or not that provider can provide Mr. Evans with that service? No.
We would not know if they had the availability.
Okay, so you want him to first reach out to, let's say, family support services, see if they have availability. If they don't have availability, then you want him to reach back out to you, and then y'all will find him another service provider?
That would be correct, yes.
Okay.
Ms. Kirksey, how long has that been the way this works?
Yeah.
It hasn't been specifically. I think maybe Katie might be able to step in and correct me, but maybe we've been having some issues with availability on service providers. I
Well,
could see
yeah,
that-
that's a clear fact that we all know, okay? But my question is, when has it become the parent's responsibility to reach out to a service provider that's gotten nothing from you all saying that they've been listed as a service provider, and then to call you guys back, and then to call them back? I mean, that is not making sense to me.
I normally have only heard of that with counseling to make sure that the counselors can take them. I haven't heard about it with family support services. Katie, honestly and truly, it'd probably just be a better idea for you to send out the service authorization to them, or if you need to, I would say go ahead and call them yourself and see if there's availability, and if so, send the service authorization.
I mean, this kind of came up peripherally in another hearing today. And I actually pulled up the service plan and was looking at it. And there was some statement about that the payment form, whatever it's called, hadn't gone. And I looked at the service plan, and here was that provider's name in the service plan. This is telling the parent, this is who you are supposed to call. That specific person. It wasn't a counselor. It was, and I don't even remember, there were several things in the service plan that gave specifics about who they were to call. And,
When
and
I
I,
go,
I wondered, gee, I wonder how that works. If I called Family Support Services and said, hey, I'm calling because I'm involved in a CPS case and I'm supposed to sign up for your domestic violence class. And they look at their records and they say, well, we don't know who you are. We don't have you. We've gotten no payment form from St. Francis or the department, whichever the case is appropriate. That's what I'm trying to find out. When did we go to that mode of operation?
I think it's just been basis to basis on different service providers. If it's a counselor that's hard to get into, it's better to do it that way. For family support services, I feel like we could possibly give them a call to see if they're able to. I think it's dependent on the service provider. If they require for the parents to call and say that they have an issue, I mean, as an example, BIP and domestic violence, to be able to report that they're willing to take that class. Half the time, I feel like we do send service authorizations to providers, and then we get calls back from parents stating that, or calls back from the provider stating that they aren't going to be able to take the class because they haven't admitted to there being an issue. So if that's something I need to follow up on, I'm more than happy to do that with my director, but I think that might be where the confusion is coming from.
It would be very helpful for me to know which of these providers that parents are going to be responsible for contacting directly, and or which ones are we going to send prior authorization or payment approval to?
I'll follow up and get an answer for you and send out a notification to legal so that we can get those answers to you. We'll get
Yeah,
a list
I'm hearing different stuff. So that's my problem.
Judge, I'm kind of with you on the same page. I'm going to reach up and follow up and have a meeting on this and try to figure out because I kind of have the same concerns on a couple of issues that I've heard.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to flog this any longer today, but I just, I'm just hearing different things, and I don't know what to expect, and I don't know what the parents are expecting, and I don't know what to tell them to expect. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Your Honor, so just to be clear, do we wait on notification, or are they gonna, I just want to know if St. Francis is gonna go ahead and send over the 2054s or whatever, that payment authorization, so that the parents can start reaching out to set up those services?
Well, let's ask this question. If it's regarding family support services, that's your question?
Well, just even TPC.
Well, because some of these places, there's probably an actual payment that's being made, and some of them, there may not be any payment that is being made. So I know there's always been some services that parents had to make contact themselves. That's longstanding been the way it is. And then others, the department and now St. Francis actually makes that referral or sends the payment authorization for. So I think we got to know, we got to be specific. So with respect to family support services, do parents just need to contact them? Is there payment? In other words, is there a payment authorization is there payment to be made?
For domestic violence specifically, there is. If you go through parenting, there's not. So domestic violence, we do have to send a service authorization for. And it might be something that, the parent would need to call, contact, and see when they can get started to figure out when we need to send the service authorization for. And then if it's counseling, they want to make sure that they have the availability before we send service authorization and payments for.
Okay.
We can send those 2054s at a drop of a hat. It's nothing but an email for us, but just getting confirmation, hey, they said our appointment's going to be starting on this date, letting you know. And then we're like, okay, perfect. We'll send this service authorization for you.
And the reason I ask, Your Honors, Mr. Evans is, I guess his psychological evaluation and his counseling are supposed to be at TPC. So I just didn't know if he can go ahead, if he just needs to go ahead and reach out to them, or he can just say, hey, St. Francis has already contacted y'all. I'm reaching out to y'all just to get my, my service started.
What should we do?
I would have them reach out first. And an issue with that is I've seen different service providers who say, hey, we can't start this person for 3 months. And then we say, okay, well, maybe that service provider isn't the best option. Let's look at somebody else, see if you can get availability, get in with this counselor or this counselor. Once you get confirmation, we can send that service 2054. So I would say make contact. They can schedule their appointment. They don't have to have the money down to schedule an appointment. And then we can send the 2054 before they actually have it.
Okay.
So it seems to me that that in the service plans, there should be something in there about, exactly who parents need to reach out to. If they're the ones that need to make the initial contact, I just think that needs to be made clear.
And there should be a phone number listed on the family plan, at least the new one. Well, no, the old ones as well, a phone number and an address for the location and the provider.
Right. And I agree. And I think that's the way it's been. And I think when I looked at one today, that's the way it was. And then there were not specific providers listed like under counseling.
We normally just list the first one, and then if we need to file amended ones with different providers, we do.
Okay. So Ms. Lucero, are you pretty clear on at least what your client needs to do initially?
Yes, John, I'll just have him reach out to all those folks, and if they tell him they can't talk to him without getting contact with St. Francis, I'll let Ms. Smith know.
Okay. All right, Ms. Archer, same for you?
Same, Judge.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Ms. Lucero, did you have anything further?
No further questions, Your Honor, no.
All right. And I've lost a little bit of track where I was. So, Ms. Zavala?
I think I've already given mine.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else since this issue came up? I want to make sure everybody's got their questions answered.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Your Honor, just if they'll work on getting a set time, hopefully when the baby's not sleeping, for the visits, and that they receive that link. Well, sometimes they use the same link, for every visit. That way they're not changing it up. But if they could get something else set up and it be consistent, I'd appreciate it.
All right, Ms. Smith, all I can say is you can talk with placement about that. With little ones, that is an ever-changing landscape. And so all I really say is I guess just we do our best, with that. But babies are a little unpredictable about when they're going to fall asleep. So it may happen. I would just, if they've got a designated sort of nap time right now, maybe we can work around that. But, we got to anticipate that's going to change as the baby grows. So.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry again, I'd interrupt. My client had given a name for a possible placement. St. Francis had advised that there was an issue within that home, that they couldn't proceed on a home study. They're in the process of providing me with an additional name and phone number and all that. I'll send that to Ms. Smith so that they would, the name is Amber Evans. It's Mr. Evans' niece. And they're hopeful that maybe, they've talked with her, but they want to be sure that she would be considered placement, that she would be open to that. They're just verifying it. If she says yes, then I'd like to provide that information to St. Francis. And if they do that first, background check and everything looks good, if, we could have a home study on her.
Okay, Ms. Smith, do you have that information?
I do not, but she'll send that to me and I'll get that. I'll get the initial, I'll make contact with Amber.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Evans and Miss Simi, all right, you're unmuted now. So let me make a couple things very, very clear. All right, we've talked about what you all need to do as far as getting services started. I'm going to order these service plans as an order of the court today. So it's like any court order, I expect you all to follow those. So just like I've gotten on to some of these people today about we need to know some of these things, I expect them to follow up and straighten out those problems. I expect you all to do your part. If virtual visits with the baby, if it's a problem that the baby is sometimes sleeping, I'm sorry, that's going to be real hard to completely work around. We'll do our best, but the biggest single thing you can do to make that a better situation for yourselves and the baby is get off drugs. Get us some negative drug tests. Do you all understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to order you to go, Mr. Evans, I'm going to order you to do a UA for us by noon tomorrow. And I'm going to order Ms. Simi to do hair and UA for us by noon tomorrow. Do you need transportation to get there by noon tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Smith, can you all arrange that?
I would like to be able to arrange that prior to getting off. Like if you can do a breakout room, that way we can have it arranged what time and where we can pick them up at before we get off court today.
When we conclude our hearing, I will put you in a breakout room with them because I need to move forward with my next hearing. But I'll put you in a breakout room with their attorneys so you all can all be there and make that arrangement, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue the child's current placement, find a continuing danger to return the child home at this time, order the service plans as an order of the court, and I'll see everybody back for the initial permanency hearing on March 3rd of 2026. That will be at a 9 o'clock docket. Okay, my apologies, y'all. It's been a tedious day, but I'm this is an issue that's been bugging me all day, that this seems to be a point of confusion. So hopefully we can get it straightened out.
Yes, Your Honor, and I am following up with our director and executive director, and Daniel, I'm CCing you on the email to see if we can get some exact clarification to send up.
All right, I really appreciate it. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Thank y'all. Let me get you set up in a breakout room. So Mr. Evans, here in just a second, you're going to get a prompt to go to a breakout room, and you can just say that you will join. So you're going to get a prompt to go to room 2, and you can just say join, and it'll put you in there. Miss Kirksey, do you want to go in there as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll move you to 2. All right, I think I've got everybody else moved in there. Y'all can just leave straight from there.
Right, and Your Honor, I'm in on the 130 case, so I'll pop back in as quick as I can.
Okay, I appreciate it, Ms. Lucero. Thank you.
I think
We'll start get-
Ms. Archer's also on the case.
Yeah, we'll start getting everybody else in, but that needs to be resolved. Interest of Ajasha Jackson, cause number 100390E, in the interest of Malachi Harris Jackson, cause number 100391E, in the interest of Waylon Green. All right, we're here today in each case set for our adversary hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud today as I do not have a court reporter. Okay, a lot of you are used to Zoom. A lot of you may not be. What's really important for you to know is that you cannot interrupt and talk over people. So if there's, if you're really wanting to say something, raise your hand or something, get my attention. And when we get to a logical place, I will call on you and you will have an opportunity to speak. I will make sure that each of you has an opportunity to speak, either through your attorney or individually or both. We've got lots and lots of people involved in this. So I'm just asking everybody to stay muted unless you are actively questioning or answering questions. Okay. All right, so Mr. Jackson, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Ms. Collins, the same. All right. We'll go ahead and take announcements. Let me just cover it. We've got so many people. It's going to be difficult. All right, Mr. Trout is present for the Department of Family and Protective Services in all cases. The child, Ajasha Jackson, is present in her case. Ms. Stevens is present on behalf of the mother, Roxana Collins, in Ajasha's case and also in Waylon's case. Ms. Archer is present on behalf of the mother, Davina Harris, and Ms. Harris is also present with us in Malachi's case. Ms. Ms. Lucero is present on behalf of the father, Timothy Green, who is present in Waylon Green's case. And Ms. Zavala is present on behalf of all of the children in all 3 cases. Did I miss anybody? Okay.
I don't think so, Your Honor.
All right. Then, Mr. Trout, who's your first witness today?
My first witness today, Your Honor, I would call Nicole Wright. I have 2 witnesses, Your Honor, that are in the medical field. I will try to get them in and out so they can go back to work.
Okay. All right, Ms. Wright, if you will please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Wright, would you state your name for the record, please?
Nicole Wright.
And Miss Wright, what do you do as a profession?
I'm a family nurse practitioner.
And are you familiar with the children involved in this case, or mostly with Wayland Green?
Yes.
And how are you familiar with Wayland?
They see me in clinic. I'm their primary care physician.
Okay. How often have you seen Wayland?
Quite frequently. I've seen him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times since May of this year.
What are they been normal checkups, or has the child been brought in for other issues?
3, 4 of them have been well visits, and then the rest have been sick appointments.
Okay. In regards to the case and why we're here today, did Ms. Collins bring in Wayland for specific issues?
Yes, she did.
And what were those issues?
They were GI complaints with concerns of abdominal discomfort and stool issues, and also skin disorders.
Okay. And did you personally see them when they came in for that visit?
Yes.
Okay. Did you observe any behaviors or anything during that visit?
Okay, Mr. Trout, I'm so sorry. I'm going to interrupt you real quickly. So mark where you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jackson, and I'm going to ask you to unmute now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Jackson, I don't show that you have filled out or requested an attorney in this case. Have you been given that paperwork?
No, ma'am.
All right, you do have the right to have an attorney represent you in these matters. If you are deemed to be indigent, I can appoint an attorney to represent you, but I've got to have that paperwork or know some information about that before I can make that appointment. Or you can retain your own attorney. For purposes of today's hearing, do you understand why we're here?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You understand what is being requested today?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you want any opportunity to try to talk with the department's attorney and or the child's attorney before we proceed any further? Or I can reset this case and you can fill out that paperwork and get it to me right away. We'll have to reset it a different day to see if you qualify for an attorney.
Yeah, I think I probably do need an attorney.
Let me ask you a couple questions. Are you working?
No, ma'am.
How long has it been since you worked?
Off and on, probably about 3 years.
Are you disabled?
I have congestive heart failure. I'm put in for disability right now. I'm waiting on my answer.
Okay, so you're not currently drawing any kind of disability.
No, ma'am.
Have you actually been to court over that yet?
No, ma'am. I don't have an attorney on it. I've just filled out the paperwork and turned the paperwork in.
To Social Security?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, where do you live by yourself?
No, I live with my fiance.
All right, is she working?
Yeah, she does DoorDash delivery.
And are y'all paying rent there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, but you're not married, correct?
No, ma'am.
Who's on the lease there at that place?
She is, and her friend is.
Okay, you're not on the lease?
No, ma'am.
Is it legal for you to be living there?
Yeah, the landlord knows that I'm there, yes.
Okay. Is it HUD housing?
No.
Okay. All right, then. Mr. Trout, I think we got a problem proceeding any further today.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, I would just ask not question him, just ask Mr. Jackson. In the investigative report, it shows that he met with Miss Amos at the office and the paperworks were given to him. So I wanted to see if he still had that paperwork because according to the investigative report, the indigency form was in there.
I don't recall receiving that paperwork.
Okay. We'll get him another packet, as soon as we can, Your Honor. We'll email it to him or, Miss Amos, you got a way to get in touch with him or email him the paperwork?
Yes, if he will agree to meet me at his house or come to the office. I've been by his house several times.
I'll come to your office.
Can we
When are
do
you gonna do
today?
that? When can you do that?
I do that tomorrow, sometime 2 o'clock or something.
Tomorrow at 2 o'clock? Okay.
All right, Miss Katie has thrown out November 13th at 1:30 for a reset date. My apologies to everyone else.
I'll be with you all day that day, Your Honor. Miss Wright, Miss Sanchez, would y'all be available at 1:30 on the 13th?
No. I'm not available that afternoon.
Either date works for me.
Daniel, Rachel also sent out 11/18.
Okay. But the 18th, Miss Wright,
Available at 1:30 on the 18th.
1:30 on the 18th.
But Ms.
Your
Archer
Honor, I'm
can't.
not available at all on the 18th. I'm sorry. And it's not something I can move around.
Ms. Archer isn't available on the 18th either.
Unless my first mediation doesn't take long. It's just hard moving mediation with all the parties. It's taken forever to get that date.
I understand. What about, it's not a normal Potter day, but what about the afternoon of November 12th? I've got something right at 1, but it won't take long, so probably 1:30.
I'm supposed to be in Deaf Smith at 2, but my client is agreeing to work services as far as she's concerned, but we don't know when she'll catch Shane, so I don't know if she'll even be able to be present if I hadn't another attorney cover for me. Does that help things or?
I mean, Judge, if Ms. Archer's talking about this case, that her client's still in agreement, that may change things on some of the dates.
Yeah, that it just certainly could help on the
18th date, I think.
maybe, well, let's see, I don't think Ms. Stevens could do the 18th either.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, I apologize. That afternoon, I can't move my thing. I am free the 12th though.
Ms. Wright?
I'm unavailable for 24 hours that whole day.
Okay.
Okay. What about?
What about the afternoon of the 17th?
I'm in mediation.
I'm free.
I'm in mediation that day.
Problems we're getting outside of our window here.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, well, Friday the 14th, morning or afternoon.
I could only do morning that day, but I could be available that morning.
Ms. Wright?
I'm not available during like business hours on Thursdays or Fridays because of clinic.
Okay, did we rule out the 10th?
I can do that afternoon.
And on the 10th, I can do after 3 p.m., but before that, I have a meeting with a psychologist at the clinic.
Well, Mr. Trout, could she be called as a later witness in the afternoon if we started earlier?
On the 10th?
Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was just trying to get them in and out as quickly as I
right.
could. So
I understand.
but yes, if she can be available later that afternoon. Ms. Sanchez?
I'm available that whole day.
Okay.
I could do the 10th afternoon.
Can do the 10th in the afternoon.
All right, I need to double check. Nobody has a conflict with Judge Graham's docket on the 10th?
Well, I don't know if Brittany's sent it out yet, but as far as I know, I don't from my prior inputting it in. Unless something crazy changed. I think that's good.
Everybody just give me just a second. I'm going to double check it to make sure that's not going to end up being a problem. Okay, we're checking with his coordinator. Just give us just a couple minutes. Otherwise, it looks like the 10th would work for everybody. And Ms. Wright, you said after what time?
3.
After 3 o'clock. Okay. But I think if we start this at, say, 1 or 1:30, I'm guessing we'll have plenty of territory to cover before 3 o'clock. Okay. So while we're waiting on that, so Mr. Jackson, let me just tell you, it is imperative, like really, really important, that you be at Ms. Amos's office at 2 tomorrow to fill out that paperwork. You need to be thorough on it. Try to fill out as much information on there as you can. I get some of these back and people have just signed them and not filled anything out. That ain't gonna cut it. So to appoint you an attorney, I've got to know some information that's requested on there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you can just fill that out. Then when you're done, hand it back to Ms. Amos and she will get it to me so that we can get someone appointed to represent you, because we got to make sure that that person can also be present on the afternoon of the 10th. So the sooner I've got that from you, the better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey, Judge, she said that she doesn't have any of them that day.
Okay. Great. Okay, then we will be in recess and I'll see everybody back on Monday, November 10th. Let's start at 1. Make sure we've got enough time.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Wright, Ms. Sanchez, you're still under those subpoenas. I will get you the link as soon as I get it. I will send that over to y'all.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate everybody's patience and time, so I'll see y'all back then.
Judge, may I speak to the attorneys?
Certainly. So attorneys, don't log out. Don't push the button. All right, Miss.
Roxanne, you're done for today. Go on and go.
And so,
Okay.
Miss.
I just wanted to ask about the funerals. What do I do about that?
We haven't had a hearing. We can't do anything yet.
Okay, but that's my family and my kid. Oh, what do they can't be there?
Your Honor, my client has a family friend and a cousin who both died this week. She'd like to take the kids to the funeral services. I told her we would ask after the hearing. I haven't even gotten to talk to Mr. Trout about this. So,
Well, you'll let me know then, okay? Or what? I don't know.
Well, Waylon is an infant.
Yes, it's Jaisha Jackson.
And Judge, I think part of the issue, I got an email on this. I wasn't sure all the facts on it, and we were trying to sort out some stuff. Ajasa's not in the area. She is placed away right now. So the transportation and stuff, but I have not been able to have a full conversation about this whole thing, and I didn't know all the facts of it. I just got an email on, I believe, yesterday morning about something on this.
Hang on. Hold on. I'm going to allow you to get a handle on what the situation and the facts are and all of that. And then if you all need my intervention on it, then we can do it by email.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll make a decision if the court's going to be involved in that, but so we'll gather some information and let you all discuss it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then so just log out.
You're free to go. Ms. Harris?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll make arrangements to have you brought in again on the 10th, assuming that you are still here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank
And Mr. Green, you can go ahead and log off and I'll give you a call later on today.
All right, attorneys, I'm gonna put you all in room 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.
You.
Daniel, you can go back there. You were already signed there.